um, another tragic event happening here, and so it's kind of taken
I
over.
I've had my daughter that broke right at the end. What do you have like some details? I don't know any of the details.
Well, I mean, it's not like I said. There's not really much. I mean, it's basically the same thing. Um, there's uh, there's a Palestinian protest going
Oh
on
shit!
right
No, I
now.
thought you were talking. Sorry, I was way off. I thought you were talking about I thought you were talking about the shooting in Maine. I thought
Yeah,
that's what you were saying.
that's the
Yeah, but
tragedy.
then didn't we have another shooting in New Jersey? I think I saw. Didn't that somebody said that right at the end of our stream earlier?
What? Another one?
Somebody said that. No, that not
Yeah,
happen.
Maine.
And then I've been gone. Was it New Jersey?
Um, I don't see another one.
Oh well, I announced something that probably wasn't true then. Pew pew. Thank you.
Climate change denier? Really?
Oh, is he really? Oh, this is terrific. We now have something to talk about. If we talk about climate change, though, HVAC's going to show up.
So what you're telling me is he is 100% fits the Republican bill.
Yeah. Have you seen the clip of who's that idiot from Kentucky?
Which one? There's two.
The libertarian. Uh,
Oh, yeah.
Shit. He's in Congress, not the senator. And him to what is his stupid name? He's one of the Freedom Caucus guys. Thomas Massey. Have you heard this debate? Let me read this is Thomas Massey questioning John Kerry. It's actually the dumbest thing I've ever heard from a like Thomas Massey is considered one of the smartest people in Congress for the Republican Party. And just listen to this 3-minute debate. Let's see if I can turn that.
Instead of convening a kangaroo court, the president might want to talk with the educated adults he once trusted to fill his top national security positions. It sounds like you're questioning the credentials of the president's advisors currently, but I don't think we should question your credentials today. Isn't it true you have a science degree from Yale? What's that?
Bachelor of Arts degree.
Is it a political science degree?
Yes, political science.
So how do you get
My
a
regret.
Bachelor of Arts in a science?
Well, it's liberal arts education and degree. It's a bachelor.
Okay, so it's not really science. So I think it's somewhat appropriate that somebody with a pseudoscience
and they said that we were going to send dirt, and it was totally misconstrued, just absolutely wrong. The fake news, they turned it into a big scandal, and they did so much to us, and we're so upset.
Now, Mr. President, I know you're a big Christian, big nationalist. Some have said God made dirt, dirt don't hurt. Do you think that's a defense for you?
That's where Ivana is. She's in the dirt. And we put the classified documents in the dirt. Oh, I've said too much. I've said too much.
You better go.
They said she's in the dirt, and she's maybe on the 19th hole. We said 19th hole.
That's
Do you think if you win the election that you could, really straighten out the U.S. Postal Service and make sure that dirt gets delivered?
Well, as you know, we hate the Postal Service. We don't like to deliver things. What we did is we weakened the Postal Service in an effort to make mail-in ballots not go through. And I can say that now that I'm not president, just like I can say that I couldn't declassify this because I was not president anymore. But we definitely want to ruin the Postal Service. We need to ruin WQED and public broadcasting. We have to get rid of it all because It's very scary, and it's progressive, and we don't like progressive. And by the way, nobody knows progressive like Donald J. Nobody knows it more than me. So if I tell you it's too progressive, well, it's too progressive.
I did have a quick question for you. I know that there's been some news going about yesterday in court that you stormed out. Now there's varying stories. Some say that you won the case, but the judge said it so quietly under his breath that only you heard it. Some people have said that you were angry. Some people have said that you had just filled your depends. Now, obviously, lots of different news stories. Would you like to tell us the true story of what happened yesterday when you left court?
Well, we don't know about Stormy Daniels. You said we stormed out. We don't know. I don't believe she was there. Michael Cohen was there, and he's a nasty guy. He's a nasty man. He's so rude. He turned Donald Trump into the authorities, and now he thinks and by the way, he's a liar. He's a liar. He lies more than me. And that's
you know who else? You know who else lies?
Stormy Daniels.
Ivana.
Ivana, she's in the dirt. God bless her soul. Yes, it's all connected. We wanted dirt on Joe Biden, and we put Ivana in the dirt.
Is this a breaking story? Are you trying to tell me now that Ivana lies?
And they sent it to me. And really, we were just going to leave Rudy Giuliani over in Ukraine. That would have been a better solution, because now we're getting screwed. Because Jenna Ellis, my favorite attorney, she's a great attorney. Joe Dirt, 2024. That's right. I saw it in the comment.
Do you have any?
But yes,
not to cut you off there, but do you have any comments on the reports from the Australian businessman who said that you had asked Melania to parade around in her bikini in front of everybody, and she said only if you do it? Do you want to respond to those accusations?
Well, yes, I did ask her to put her bikini on and walk around. They said walk around in the bikini, and but then she said to me, Donald, I will only do that if you wear a Speedo. And I do look very good, and my body. I'm 6'5", 215 pounds. That's
svelte. You're quite svelte.
I'm very sculpted, and as you know, that they said that I'm in great shape. The doctors, they all say I'm great. So I was going to parade around the pool, but Melania called it off, and then actually Melania, I don't know where she is. Can you tell me where she is? It looks like she ran away. She told me she was going to get a pedicure, and she never came back. She never came back home.
Well, maybe go check outside. I do have guests waiting, so maybe you could go look around the neighborhood. If you find her, let us know.
Well, we'll let you know, and thank you for having me. And and we've got potato mashers available. Trump 2024. So all of your guests that are here, let them know that they can have a potato masher. We love potatoes.
Thank you.
We'll see you later. Thank you so strongly.
Yeah, thank you for the time this evening. Allegedly, the former commander-in-chief joining us. Jamin.
Well, we definitely don't want another $10,000 fine,
We don't want that.
That would be terrible.
We don't want that. Jamin, welcome.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you. You also have a nice day.
All right.
Have
a nice conversation, all of you.
All right, you too.
I want to ask you something, and I want to speak something, if something possible, you understand?
All right.
I want to ask you this problem about the wall, about the problem about the wall, about about the war. When it's coming war, there is something. It's not the something past. Now example what they are fighting Iran, about Russia, about the United States. But the problem, what is the problem? The first,
Yeah, they're
United,
thirsty.
yeah,
I gotta be honest. I don't have a clue in shit about what you're talking about. I missed you after about the first 4 words. I've lost this entirely. I have no idea what you're saying.
yeah, I want to speak about the problem about the Palestinian Israel. You know,
Yeah, but maybe just like if you want to talk about that, be a little more clear. Otherwise, we're probably not going to know what you're saying.
no, I'm clear. I'm clear.
Oh,
You
well,
know,
your accent is fading rapidly, my friend.
okay, okay, okay,
Oh, it's really fading now.
okay, okay. Now,
Oh, keep going. We're almost to your real voice. Keep going.
okay, okay.
Keep going. Come on. Almost there.
Okay, okay.
Come on. No, we're almost there. Come on now. Come on now. Bring out that Alabama drawl. We know it's in there.
Russia can push
Now
Iran
it's
can give
come on, keep going.
everything.
Keep
But
going. Wrong one.
the
That's the
problem,
wrong one.
The problem, but American cannot
Wait, no,
do
it's back now. Rewind. Rewind there, Chief. Rewind.
Yeah.
All right. I appreciate you coming up. That was really fun.
Okay.
All right, bye. What's going on tonight? This is why I don't go live at night. What is that? The fuck was that? I have no idea what that was.
I have no idea.
This is what happens at night. It's because this is what happens when you legalize weed all across the country. I think this is what happens. People just have a good night and jump on TikTok.
Oh, and FYI, in the comments, the bombing in Syria is correlated with the Palestinian-Israel conflict, but it's because there's been Iran-backed attacks on military personnel there. So that's what's going on there.
I don't know what happened in Syria. What happened in Syria?
We're striking. We've been drone striking some areas in Syria, and it's happened for the last couple of days.
All right, did not know that either.
That's it.
All right, I don't know if there's anybody in the box.
That was odd. The accents are disappearing.
There are some rough PFPs in here.
PFPs?
Yeah, some of those are rough. Some of you guys need new profile pictures for sure. Some of those are rough to look at. That's not good at all. All right, I'll jump over to Newsmax then. See what Newsmax is telling us. They're actually Israel sends armored force back in the West Bank. I thought for sure this was going to be about the Trump trial on the front page. What do they have on it? Nothing. They're not covering Trump at all. That's crazy.
Weird how that happens, huh?
He's not even on the website. Oh my God. But they're going, if anybody wants to see, they are brutal on George Santos. If anybody
The
wants
last
to
thing
see
that we have, the last thing that I have is Trump is forced to play by the rules in court and doesn't like it.
Not likely. Not likely. IB, what's up, dude? IB.
Jasper.
What's up?
Hey, I was just going to ask you something. Aren't the new strikes in Syria, aren't those a response to the attacks on the embassies we've had for like last week or so?
Yeah, that's since the 17th. It's one of those things to where you can I don't know, you can muddy the waters if you want. It's not uncommon for us to be in conflict with Syria. I mean, it's been that way for at least the last 17 years. 17, 18 years.
Yeah.
So it's not uncommon.
Just,
So I just don't want to come in and go, hey, the U.S. is striking Syria on behalf of Israel, because I don't know if that's what's happening. It could just be Iran just being a bunch of dicks as usual.
Yeah, I'd followed a story the other day that was talking about. It was in a military publication. I can't remember where I found it, but it was talking about that there had been an increase in rocket attacks and drone attacks on U.S. embassies in Iraq and in Syria, and they were talking about proportional responses to Iran because Iran's basically funding it.
Yeah, I once again, it's the conflict in the Middle East is not so it's not just transparent, and so I don't want to get into something and be completely wrong because I just don't know, and so I'm not going to comment too much on the Syria attacks and too much on the strikes that are going there. All I know from it is a little bit of reading that I've done is from some rocket attacks that happened. I think it was like 12 rocket attacks since the 17th. That's all. That's all I know. I don't know anything else about it. The Israeli conflict is a different conflict altogether. I'm less concerned with what the U.S. is doing in Syria, and I'm more concerned about the lack of ground forces and the lack of support that we're giving for humanitarian efforts with the IDF against the Gaza Strip right now. That's what I'm more concerned about.
Yeah, gotcha. I was just kind of along the lines of the Middle East thing. I would take it that you and I have pretty much been following the same types of information, and that's really all it's out right now. I just didn't know if you might have heard something more or anything like that to add some nuance to it.
I haven't gotten a lot of information from any of my sources that are close to that. That's been nothing that's dramatically changed in that sense. The humanitarian things that we're seeing have continued. They've continued to continue. As far as, like I said, as far as the military presence being bolstered there, I can't really super comment on that either. More than likely, it's just we're getting ready to stack munitions and start loading aircraft for strikes. I highly doubt that we're actually. I highly doubt that we're going to have ground forces actually knocking doors. I really, really doubt that.
Yeah.
Unless we send the Mormons, then they might be. We can probably get them to go in and knock some doors.
The world's greatest door knockers.
Yeah. Like I said, the U.S. does not want to have to deal with the brutality and atrocities that are going to be coming from the IDF side. They really don't want to get their hands in that. So
gotcha.
That's all I can think of, really.
All right, man. I just figured I'd box is open. I figured I'd jump up and ask.
Your vibrate is very aggressive.
I don't know how. I've got my headset on. It shouldn't hear a vibrate at all.
That's how aggressive it is, I think.
Apparently.
I did.
Take it easy, guys.
Bye. Dark Hazelnut. Oh, maybe. I might have accidentally booted.
So there's people that are talking about Biden sending special forces over. That was on the 11th, and that was special operations forces and hostage rescue experts. Now they're assisting Israeli forces. You have to understand that assisting does not necessarily mean that they're on the ground with them. They could just be providing tactical support. They could just be providing planning and strategy. Who knows? Like, if we pretend we know what the military is actually doing there, most of us are going to be lying. That's the truth of it. Like I said, I just don't see us having a really big bolstered ground force going through, knocking down doors, doing that whole thing. And so I just don't think that's really what it is. Again, the 2,000 Marines doesn't necessarily mean they're ground forces. There are a lot of different jobs in the Marines. There are a lot of different jobs in the Marines. There are a lot of different jobs in the Air Force. There's a lot of different jobs in the Army. I mean, there's a lot of different things that can be done. And so once again, I highly doubt. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on this completely. I could be wrong, but more than likely, we're just over there bolstering support. That's all we're doing. We're not going to go into Gaza with IDF forces. It's probably not going to happen.
Go ahead. Really bad news. Stunning, really. A prominent Republican has dropped out of the race for president as Larry Elder ended his campaign. I did not know Larry Elder was running for president. Honestly,
was he on the debate stage?
This is the first time I'm finding out about this. Did you guys know this? As I look, here was his concession speech. As I look at the path forward, and after careful consideration and consultation with my campaign team, I have made the difficult decision to suspend my campaign. The next part should be, this may come as a shock to you that I was campaigning to be president, but I really, really was, and now I quit.
Was he on the debate stage?
I don't, no, he didn't. He didn't meet the donor or polling requirements for either of them.
Oh,
I had
okay.
no idea Larry Elder was running for president. That's
Okay. So,
that's
you
too
know,
bad. That's
Plumber
too
Joe was
bad.
running for president again, and you know, I regret to inform you that he also dropped out of the race just for
Who?
lack of campaigning fund. I don't know anybody.
Any,
Who
oh, just
cares?
I
Who
thought you had a
fucking
real
cares?
name.
Who fucking cares?
That's amazing. Sorry, Uncle Slant wants to let us know. Also dropping out of the campaign. Is anybody else in the chat dropping out of the campaign? If you want to just, we can do this right now. If anybody would like to announce that their campaign is suspended. Joe the Plumber died. I think Joe the Plumber really did die.
Did he really? Oh, I feel bad.
I
about
think
throwing that
so.
Out there.
Oh, did you
Shit.
say Joe the Plumber?
I did.
Oh, dude, not
I
cool.
feel bad now.
Yeah, he did in August. Wow, dude, what a dick.
Wow, recently too.
Wow.
Oh, I am just not up on my news.
Pancreatic cancer.
Jeez, that's fucked up
hilarious.
way to go too.
Great job, man. Great job.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
This isn't the kind of content I want to put out normally. I'd much rather be respectful, but
Yeah.
when you have whisper, sometimes it's not going to happen.
You know, if I had access to the Discord, this might not have happened.
You deserved that. His name was Samuel Wurzelbacher. That's a pretty good name to become Joe the Plumber.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I thought his name was like. I thought his name was legit Joe.
No, his name
Or
it was like a
Joseph.
no. I think he announced himself as Joe the Plumber or something. Let me Wikipedia this. He gained national attention in the 28 campaign when during a videotaped campaign stop in Ohio. Barack Obama. Let's see. How did he become Joe the campaign brought him in to make several appearances in campaign events in Ohio, and John McCain often referenced Joe the Plumber in campaign speech. How? Oh, the McCain-Palin campaign just called him Joe the Plumber.
Oh, so
They just called him Joe the Plumber?
they just made up a name.
I'm just
That's
finding out
awesome.
about this. I remember hearing something about this recently now. That's amazing. Was he a plant? If anybody has the Joe the Plumber story, please come up and tell us the Joe the Plumber story. I've forgotten all
wild.
about this. How did he become Joe the Plumber? Now we gotta know. It's his middle name? That's true, it is his middle name. Okay. That makes more sense. Never mind.
So Joe is his middle name.
Well, yeah, but why?
Samuel
He
Joe.
was given the moniker Joe the Plumber by the McCain and Palin campaign. The campaign brought him in to make several appearances. Oh wow, he ran for Congress, but he lost.
See,
to,
I knew that he was like campaigning for some sort of public office at some point. I knew that happened, but I had no idea that his name wasn't Joe. Like I really thought his name was Joe, and I really feel bad. You know, that's pretty awful.
Plumbing. There's a section in Wikipedia entitled "Plumbing Credentials," and I actually, yeah. Now I'm worried about what this. Here's in case you wanted to know Joe the Plumber's plumbing credentials. Regarding his statement to Obama about intending to buy the plumbing firm that employed him, Wurzelbacher later said the idea of buying the company was discussed with during his job interview. He made $40,000 a year, so he wasn't trying to buy it at all. The whole thing was made up. That's not very mavericky. I don't think that's very mavericky to make up a story like that.
It feels really weird. Like politics aren't real.
That's wild.
We definitely need some opposition in the box. So in the future, you will lie about voting for Trump. I won't.
Did you ever vote Republican? Was that ever something you did?
Yes.
Who did you vote for?
I voted for God, what was his fucking name? Guy who ran against Obama.
The guy? He ran twice.
Yep.
So you had Romney.
Don't fucking run.
and
It was
you had-
Romney. That's
and
who it
McCain.
was.
And
It
McCain's
was
the guy
Romney.
we just talked about.
It was Romney.
Nobody believes you.
Forgot his
Now
name.
everybody thinks you're lying. I thought you were going to say Lincoln.
No, I did not. No, that's the only time I ever voted Republican,
you're old.
and it was a military thing, and so that was the only reason I did it.
What was your thought process at the time when you said I need to stand strong with the military and vote for Mitt Romney?
I was in the military.
But why did you want Romney?
I was very uninformed.
Okay, that's good enough.
That's all. I didn't know anything about it. Like I knew very little about that election. And unfortunately, I knew very, 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 very little about the first election between after George W. Bush.
It's interesting.
That's the only time I voted.
It's interesting looking back with that campaign, with the Romney campaign. Like I can look back now. And I worked on the campaign. We were running ground teams. We were talking all day about issues. And I look back and could not at the time have told you one true thing about Obama. Not one true thing about Obama.
Yeah, I don't even remember it very well. Like, to be honest with you, I just really don't remember it very well. I don't remember the campaign. A lot was going on in my life at that time. Like I said, I was very ill-informed. I hadn't been political before. The most political that I'd ever been was being from rural Texas and seeing the towers fall. And seeing the towers fall, and then automatically joining the military and fucking off my college.
You're one of those. Isn't that what Lone Survivor guy did? Wasn't he rural Texas? Same thing.
Lone Survivor. That was Marcus Luttrell. I think you're thinking of American Sniper. What did I say? I think you're thinking of American Sniper.
What did I say?
You said Lone Survivor.
Oh, okay. Aren't they both from Texas?
Luttrell. I think he is, but I don't think Luttrell joined after 9/11. I think he was already in.
All right.
Could be wrong.
You saw that how shortly after 9/11?
I graduated in 2002. So 9/11 happened. I graduated the following May and joined. I had actually already joined as of my birthday, and so I joined in December of 2001.
That's crazy. I never once ever thought about joining the military. It was never even on my radar. I never even entertained that idea. How long were you in
Texas? 6 years.
And you were in what branch? I should know this. Air Force. And you did. You were.
I was not. I was not the other thing that I said I was. I was
you weren't
working with that guy. No, I was a fucking flight line mechanic for F-16s. I was a 2W131. It was. I did nothing.
I don't know what any of that means.
I took apart launchers and put them back together. That's what I did. Military thing was not crazy. It wasn't amazing. I didn't go beyond the wire and do patrols as one of our favorite friends claims to have done. I don't even know what that means. The closest thing that I ever got to combat was vicariously through one of my cousins who was a cavalry scout. So.
How come? It's right now. Is Bad View's not coming up with you, HVAC? Do you have a breakup?
Is he coming up?
Oh, Michael West, Utah is amazing. Like, don't get me wrong, Utah is absolutely incredible. I love being here as far as the weather and the terrain. The people, a little bit culty.
Utah's so stupid. Such a stupid state.
Whatever, I have something to do year round. What do you get to do down there in the fucking desert? Like the actual 3,000 degree desert.
It's warm always.
Always.
Yeah, it's just always warm. HVAC, you sound a little down. What's up, buddy?
Oh, I'm just chilling right now.
What is up with your voice?
What about it?
Sounds different. Did you get a new microphone?
No, I'm on a different phone.
You sound so different. You sound like a little more grown up.
That's crazy. I think this one might have like
Oh, wait a minute. Are you on some herbal remedies tonight?
Maybe.
He's never spoken so slowly in his entire life. You would have gotten out 15 pages worth of talking points by now normally.
Yeah, HVAC After Dark is
this isn't bad. You're kind of palatable, buddy.
No, remember the second time we talked?
No.
It was rough.
Do you remember the second time we talked? That's adorable. What did we talk about?
Oh god, yeah, I did kind of run circles around you. That's true.
That's probably what happened. But can you remember specifically what happened?
What happened? Geez, so much, man. It's like,
is this you out of character? What is this?
What are you talking? No, this is just me, regular. This is just regular Jeff.
Well,
So
was it as good as the first time? I mean, was the
I'm
second
lame.
time as good as the
I
first
think
time?
I think it lasted longer the second time. We were more comfortable with each other, so the debate lasted longer. All right. Tell me about this. Do you remember what I was wearing?
Yeah, you were wearing like this like cut off sleeveless shirt.
That was you. That was just a wife beater.
Yeah, that was me.
That was you. You were looking in the mirror, I think. Maybe you were talking to me while staring at yourself in the mirror. I think that might have been what happened.
Actually, that's you have to, you got to keep the posture nice. You got to keep the, biceps looking juicy.
Sure. Sure. This is bizarre, man. This is like talking to a whole different person.
Really? I just feel like it's normal. You know what? I am laying
I bet
down.
your hair is like flowing. It's probably not even pulled back. It's just like you probably did like blow dryer. You got some nice volume to it. You're probably wearing like a sweater vest, like a button-up shirt,
I'm definitely
some Rustler jeans, and some Skechers. You're just kicking back for the night after a long day of work.
Right? Maybe like a brandy, sitting on my.
Yeah, it's like a $60 bottle though. It's not too expensive, but it's good enough for you. It's not low quality, but it's like mid quality, and you're
I'm
treating
like
yourself.
Virginia Slim,
You have taste, but you're not wasteful.
Why aren't you this person all the time? What's going on? Do we just catch? What are you sad about something?
No, seriously, you know what it is? I'm horizontal right now. I think that's the difference. A vertical Jeff, very out there, aggressive. Horizontal Jeff, like calm and laid back.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? The blood is not rushing. It's all rushing to my brain right now.
Have you thought about just laying down more?
Yeah, dude. Hey,
you're a goddamn delight.
Jeez.
No, what are you getting embarrassed? What are you getting?
Oh, he is flushed for sure. He is blushing right now.
What is going on? Nobody knows what to do right now.
Oh, those cheeks are rosy.
Jeez.
I have no idea what to do. This has been a strange day already. This has been a strange live.
Is your mom in the chat?
My mom, she might be. You want to say what's up to my mom? Say hi to Julie.
Your mom's awesome.
She's all right. She's probably drunk.
I dropped her a follow.
You did? Does she post anything? I don't even know if she posts anything.
No, she said, hey, I'm his mom. And I was like, oh, follow.
All right. A little creepy.
We can understand if we can just get a glimpse, and we can maybe have an idea of how RTP came to be.
Well, I can tell you all about it. You want to hear about it? How I came to be?
Yeah, go ahead. Wait, hang on one sec.
Sure.
One sec. All right, go ahead. Give me the spiel.
So, my mom had a boyfriend. Oh, did he do that thing? I'll tell everybody. I see you, David. Give me a second. I'll tell you about. Is she here? I can text her. She might be here. Do you guys want? I don't even know. She probably don't have enough followers to come up.
I might be able to speak for her. We do share a name.
No, that's not a good idea. Jeff. What the fuck was that?
I don't know.
I've never seen it before. He used my own joke, and he was being so cordial that I didn't even see it coming. He used my joke of tell me about it, and then clicked. It's not as funny because it's my live. It's decent. That really threw me for a loop.
I think the daddy energy right now is just too much for him. I don't think he can handle all of both of us.
My God. I'll tell you the story about my mom though. She had a high school boyfriend named Gary, and Gary wasn't much for going to school or having a job or doing anything real productive with his life, but Gary was a maniac in the sack, she said. That's her words, not mine. So her and Gary had a very tumultuous relationship, but eventually they fell in love and got married. Or she got pregnant and they got married. Sorry, I did that in the wrong. And then
that's pretty important order right there.
Yeah. and then it turns out Gary wasn't the most faithful fella. So by the time, within a few months, that marriage had ended, and then there's my mom right there. There's Julesy. Within a few months, she was like, her words exactly. Sorry, I want to use her words. She said, "Fuck this! I'm giving this baby away," and she moved to Utah, and then gave me to the parents who raised me, and then like 30 years later, she came crawling back like, "Hey, sorry about that," but that's the story.
It's amazing how our lives kind of went along the same path in a way.
She's gonna yell at me. Hey, I want you to know all of that story is real except for some parts. Now I gotta defend Julie. I gotta defend her now. Gary was a piece of shit. She made a great decision. She was from a small town in Idaho, and Gary's family and her family were in the same place. It would have been a horrific way for me to... Not horrific, but she made the right decision. And because I was Mormon, my adoption was sealed, which means in order to get it unsealed, I would have to request it, she would have had to request it, and Gary would have had to request it within, like, I think like a 5-year period. Gary can't write, so he can't really request it. I don't know if he has a car. He still lives with his parents. And then I found her on Ancestry.com, sort of.
Wait, hold on. Step back. Are you like fully adopted by both of your parents?
As far as I know, yeah.
Because I'm adopted, but only from my dad.
Oh no, mine was like from birth. I was raised by different parents.
Okay, I mean mine was pretty much from birth as well. But my dad adopted me. My father stepped into the picture like 17 years later. Decided to continue to be a piece of shit, and then abandoned me again in my late 20s when I really needed it.
That makes sense.
It's pretty awesome. You know, it's pretty great experience.
Yeah. See, that's actually true. So then I got Ancestry, like DNA, to see if I could find... My brother had found his family. I had 2 adopted siblings, a sister 6 months older than me and a brother that's 5 years older. They had both found their family. Interesting story, another personal story. This is what we do after dark. My brother found his family, like siblings, and I had hooked up with one of his half siblings, but we didn't know at the time. But like 3 months later, we found out. And then one time,
I think you should stop.
One time, well, we're all adopted, right? So there's no relation for me because we're adopted. And then one time we were at a party, and
glad we have that cleared out.
Yeah, one time we were at a party.
The chat was not following.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, sorry. All the kids in my family were adopted. I apologize. All of them were adopted. Different parents, completely, entirely. So anyways, but that's what happened. We were at a party. We were talking about that, like around a table. We were talking about how weird that was, and then my brother said, like later in the party, people kept coming up. They're like, "Isn't that your brother?" And he's like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Isn't that your sister?" Like, yeah, and they're like, that's weird. They're talking about that they hooked up. That's weird. Like, they're talking about it so openly. So it had happened, but that's a weird thing. I don't know why I told that story. That was a bad decision. I should not have told that story. So anyways, I get Ancestry when I'm like 30-ish, somewhere in my 30s, Julie could tell you. And I couldn't find like any super close relatives. And then one time somebody showed up as like a cousin or uncle, something like that. But it was a weird last name. It was son of a bitch. Not my last name, and not the last name of other people like Julie. I can't remember the name. It was a weird name, and all the other names matched, so his was way off. But eventually, I looked him up on Facebook, and I saw that he was married to a guy with the same last name as like some people that had... Shut up, Mel. I'll continue. He was married to a guy with the same last name, so I just reached out to this guy and I was like, "Hey, I know this is weird, but like I was adopted in '85. You have a last name that's similar. Do you know anything about that?" And he was like, "Yeah, I think my sister is your mom." And then that's how we met. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say you slept with your dad.
God,
it was gonna get really weird.
No. And so that's how we met on Ancestry, and now we're good friends. And I'm sorry for that story that got out of control. Thank you, chat, for assuming the worst in me. And this will be a nice palate cleanser. Hamid.
Oh, dude. Hey, come on, man. I was about to. That was definitely Jerry.
Dude, nobody gets excited about kissing their sister more than David. David,
not
welcome.
more than me.
It's great to have you.
Yeah.
David hears
man.
kissing your sister and jumps in the box.
Well, it does explain your Republican background.
No, that explains it right there, Jay. Now I know your history. I'm glad you explained that one. That totally makes sense.
What does it tell you about me?
It was rough. I get it.
What was rough?
You probably had a really good upbringing with your adopted family, but you had an empty hole somewhere in you.
You trying to fill my empty hole, David?
No.
Okay, I'm just checking. Just checking if that's what you were getting at here. What's on your mind tonight, David?
Oh, I was really interested in your story.
I have to ask you
charismatically.
Real quick though, I do need to ask you. The other day in T's live, how mad were you when he wouldn't let you put up your Democrats for Trump background?
Oh, I wasn't. I mean, I wasn't really mad about that. It's like he doesn't want to. I mean, that's fine. He can promote whatever he wants on my live. I don't care. You know.
Okay. Yeah, you're welcome to promote that. What's on your mind though?
Yeah. Oh, dude, I was just until I had something on my mind. Then you started going to your life story, and I was pretty interested. I was like, wow.
Do you want to ask me some questions about my life?
No. I mean, not really. I mean, I've had a weird life too, but it was interesting to hear your background a little bit because I enjoy watching you. I enjoy socializing with you.
Do you feel like you know me?
But you never did come down here when you played golf. When you played golf, you didn't.
I didn't wind up coming. So like 3 weeks before, it was a huge tournament. So everything sold out, and like 3 weeks before, the house I was renting messaged me and said they had pipes burst, and I couldn't stay there, and there was nowhere else to stay. And I know you said I could stay there, but I didn't want to cause problems. I know you like the best looking guy in the house, so I didn't want to mess that up for you. Plus, I heard the hot dogs in Oregon are fucking through the roof.
They're expensive.
That's
hey, no, they're actually that's curbing. That's curbing. Okay, it went from $20 to $16.
Thank God,
it went down
man.
to $16.
I heard a rumor that all the homelessness in Oregon was due to hot dog prices. That's the rumor I heard.
that and Top Ramen.
Top Ramen sounds like I was also told that you started that rumor.
Well, I mean, that shit happens.
Yeah. So what's on your mind? You feel pretty good?
Mostly,
you want to talk about the trials? You want to talk about?
I'm feeling pretty damn good. Really, I am.
I thought so. I thought you would be feeling pretty damn good.
It's not. You guys say flipping.
I heard. Sorry, you break. I heard the other day.
So
I stepped into your live for a second. You were for a second. I was in there the other day.
It's not a flip.
I got to tell you, it was the craziest shit I've ever seen. So you'll probably remember this. It was just a panel of you and like some other Trumpers at first, and you were so rational. You were like, you know what, Donald Trump could be lying to us. I hope not. I believe him, but if he does, we'll just. And everybody in your life was like, yeah, that's right, that's right. And then this guy came in and he's like, what do you think about Meadows flipping? And you're like, he's turning on Trump. Trump 2024. Trump would never lie to us. I love it. You immediately you just abandoned all rationality.
That's such a bullshit, like, dude.
Donald Trump would never lie to us.
You're so misinterpreting that.
It happens.
You're so missing. Mark. Okay, so. That was hilarious, but that's not true. Listen, Mark Meadows. Okay, if you want to start with Mark Meadows, this conversation led up to Mark Meadows. And if I get a phone call, I do got to split. But
I hear you.
So Mark Meadows, he got his immunity, and him testifying
from the vaccine.
If Donald Trump, no, he got immunity in this case, so he doesn't have to.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you were.
He's got to testify. So
okay.
So anyway, he's going to testify, right? So I don't see that as a flip, though, because if Donald Trump is telling us the truth, how can that be? It's going to be against his characterization, and it'll definitely smear his campaign. But if Donald Trump's telling the truth, it can't hurt him criminally if he has the evidence.
Yeah, I think maybe the reason people are saying he flipped is because a lot of people don't think Donald Trump is telling the truth.
No, I get it. I understand.
That's just based on all the other times that he didn't tell the truth, I think. So it's kind of left us with this impression where we're not 100% sure he's going to tell us the truth all the time. We're like,
no, he
might be teasing us this time. So what?
No, I Jenna Ellis. Let's go with Jenna Ellis. Okay, you want to go to Jenna?
Really good attorney.
Jenna Ellis. She's a lawyer. She's pretty much a spokesman and a glorified secretary for Rudy, right?
I would be careful. Calling just because that maybe is a younger female lawyer, still an attorney.
Go ahead and try to flip it that direction, because that's what you do for your audience. And I get it. Well, yeah, that's
you
true.
kind of called Jenna Ellis a secretary when she was an attorney.
Glorified.
Well, yeah, but a glorified secretary. So you're saying she was the glorified secretary?
Come on, man. Trump's my idol. I gotta start slandering her now. You know, that's the way So let's be real about this.
What the fuck is happening? Why are all the Trump people honest after? What time is it? I got to be on this time more often. I got age back than you. Keep going.
Once we're medicated, we're good, dude.
Yeah, you guys are.
It takes us a while.
They just caught that virus that Sidney Powell has, that flipping over virus.
Well, you can't flip if you're telling the truth. You can definitely, they could definitely make him look bad as a candidate. You know, he was trying to do this and do this. But if he's telling the truth about what he has, then it can't be.
What do you think he has? Because I
think he has evidence of voter fraud.
Because he's not saying, I have some evidence. He keeps saying...
He's always said he's had evidence. He's always said that. He's always maintained that.
He keeps saying they don't have any evidence. Do you think it's just he's doing it for like a dramatic reveal?
No, because he tried to go into court 61 times, my friend. It's not like he didn't... A lack of effort.
Yeah, and they were like, no thanks. Remember that?
Right, and now we have a court date. Do you remember that? And the evidence will definitely play out, one way or the other.
David, I got a question, I mean this genuinely. Do you know how being like the defense works?
Well, yeah. I mean, you're in Georgia, for instance. You don't have to present your defense or evidence for 10 days, okay, before the court.
Yeah.
Just so you're aware.
And your claim is that the
OSHA guidelines, procedures, rules. It's in our military. It's everywhere.
Wait, hold on. You're saying that 59 of the cases were dismissed on procedural grounds or what?
Lack of standing.
Lack of standing. Okay, so you're saying no.
For instance, affidavits, 5,000 affidavits, but it doesn't have any standing because they're affidavits. They're not. That's eyewitness.
That's lack of evidence, right?
Standing. That's lack of standing and not evidence.
No, that's lack of evidence.
That's not the same thing.
What is standing?
You can have evidence that something transpired or something happened. Doesn't mean the court is willing to take it on for those reasons.
What is standing?
Look, is this your JTP educational moment? I mean, you're trying to disprove. Am I a lawyer?
RTP. It's RTP.
Oh yeah.
Do you know? No, but do you know what standing is?
Dyslexia. You know what I'm saying?
It's not dyslexia, and it's not the opposite of sitting. Standing is just basically saying, you don't have any reason to go before the court, meaning you don't have evidence. You can't prove any crime.
No, that's not true. That's not true. Doesn't mean there's no evidence. You have to have
that. You don't have enough.
You don't have enough You don't have enough evidence to say the election was stolen or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You can't say.
Yeah,
I know, but doesn't mean it didn't happen. So, he doesn't have to present everything up for if you remember right, they kept counting the votes, extending the court dates. Extending the final court when they were counting votes to certify.
David, our court system is not set up to prove that things are false. You know that, right? So,
but it is there in appeals and stuff like that too.
Whether or not this happened, which it almost certainly did not. Why do you think then?
Well, you don't know that
this evidence that could not be submitted and wasn't compelling enough to even get a court case would be compelling enough to overturn the indictment?
Because he will get the indictment and he will win this indictment, guarantee that.
Well, he got the indictment. Then they're going to go to court. They're going to litigate what's in the indictment. I'm saying he doesn't even have enough evidence. He never had enough evidence to even go to court. And this Georgia case. Hold on. What you're saying his defense is going to be is that they're going to come in and they're going to be like, here's all the laws that you broke. By the way, some of the laws that were broken...
This is not election fraud.
It's not.
Georgia? So Georgia, it would not. But his defense is not about whether an election was stolen. Though. You know what I mean? He can't put that up for defense, but he can use but hang on, he can use relevance. It has to have relevance to the case, which the only relevance to the case would be the two women that Rudy Giuliani got sued by, and
lost.
He didn't contest it. He didn't.
Why did he didn't contest it?
Because you got a RICO case you're facing. You're not going to bring up evidence of this nature in this case, in a civil lawsuit.
You're desperate for money, so you're just going to pay a settlement.
Yeah, you can say he's desperate. Yeah. You're desperate all you want.
No,
that's what he did.
He is desperate for money. That's like he's selling off all of his assets.
Well, that's fine. Now you're pivoting over to he's a loser.
That's why he didn't go to court. He was going to lose.
No, I understand.
So he just paid it off.
So no, that's not the only reason you don't contest stuff and things like that.
What's the other
all kinds of reasons
you don't contest it?
You can't, either you can't afford it, or you know that it's not a winning argument.
You got mad when I said he couldn't afford it. Now you're saying that's one of the reasons. And
no, I'm giving you. There's lots of reasons. What
are some other reasons?
Just the expense and the cost that it's going to cost both sides.
That's the same as not being able to afford it. Those are the same thing. That's not
the same
now.
That's not the same to stretch something out and keep paying. There's lots of there could be an issue. There's all kinds of reasons that people don't contest.
Gotcha. So he just paid the settlement. Contest. He was like, I'm just going to pay the settlement. Well,
if I said Jay is a piece of crap, he unalives people and does all this stuff to people and he essays people, and you don't contest that. No, but if you don't contest that, it doesn't mean you're admitting that you do that. It's just if for whatever reason you can't fight, you're not going to fight that case. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that you're admitting guilt.
That's not a case. I would fight that case. I would have fought that case.
I know that. We're not talking ethics here. Come on.
Yeah. Well, we're not talking evidence. We don't really talk evidence together. So you think
ethics? We're not really talking ethics. I said.
You said
like Jay wanted. Of course you would stick up. I said, of course you would fight the case.
No, it's because your lawsuit was stupid. That's why I would fight it. Because what were you suing?
Oh, I thought because I said you unalive people and did this.
I don't know what you were even suing me for there, but I definitely wouldn't be like, fuck that. I'll pay a settlement. I don't even know how you got that one into court.
But just because you don't contest something said about you in a defamation lawsuit doesn't mean you're guilty.
So then what's outside of him thinking he's guilty? Why do you think? What's your opinion on why he didn't contest it? I'm just asking an opinion here.
I know. So we went from the only reason we went to Rudy though was to show you why it had relevance in Trump's case for these two women. The relevance in the case would be these two women in order to prove the voter fraud. Okay, he would have to bring up into courts because this is a criminal case. He's going to have to bring up the relevance to why these people matter in the defense of his case because he had a phone call. Fake electors and all this stuff. You guys call it fake electors. We don't.
You understand that. What they were suing him for, the defamation, was that he was accusing.
They were involved.
He was accusing them of voter fraud without any evidence, and that's the case they won.
You're using that again. You're saying that again without any evidence. This is not the case. This is the case that
David,
They didn't litigate this in court. They didn't litigate it in court.
Hold on, David. I need to explain something to you. It wouldn't be defamation if he accused them of it with evidence. He accused them without evidence, which is why it was defamation, David.
I understand, but it doesn't mean that he doesn't have evidence of this stuff.
Well, what evidence is he going to use? They've already discovered that there is no evidence. And Rudy,
so I would say
that's what.
So if you have the biggest evidence ever in history of these things going on, and you think you're just everybody's going to have the evidence, if you had the hang on one second.
I love you. The nice thing about debating with David is I can do like a bunch of things at once. I don't have to be locked in. Hey, what's up? Welcome back.
Yeah, so I'm just saying that if you were Donald Trump, okay, and you're hypothetical here, you had evidence of these things transpired, okay, and you send some stuff into the courts, you think they're going to take the case on, you're expecting to get on the docket because you can't present all your evidence right then. There's no way. There's a reason people don't It only in Georgia, 10 days. Okay, there's a reason they have a law in place. If I'm going to defend myself in court, and evidence got to be seen on both sides with a 10-day period. Okay, there's a reason behind that because 60 days, a year out, or 2.5 years, almost 3 in this case for election fraud. Right? People can corroborate stories, have alibis, and all kinds of things can take place when evidence is already out in the open.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Charge criminals. Like, what are you talking about?
Same thing. Why they don't? Same thing. Why they don't charge people with a crime and lay out all the evidence out against them right off the bat. There's a time frame, a window to charge them with crimes.
Okay, so when I was in college, I worked for a judge. I was a TA for a judge, and regularly he would get phone calls of police asking him to sign a warrant, right? Right. And what he did at that point to get a warrant signed is he made them tell him all of the evidence that they had.
Right, but okay. So let's
the reason this court case exists, David, is they gathered all their evidence together and they went before a grand jury, and the grand jury said, "Good Lord, that's a lot of evidence. Yeah, sure, you should take this to trial." So now
you have no idea about organized crime.
Which means we already know there is a ton of evidence.
So you have absolutely no knowledge about organized crime then, because they do not just
I do not have a vast understanding of an organized crime, but whatever knowledge I have of it, I'm almost certain I know at least a little more than you.
Yeah, of course you are, because that's.
Well, what do you know about organized crime? Tell me about what RICO charge, like how a RICO charge works.
I know exactly how a RICO charge works. We're not going over that right now. We're going over. You're trying to pivot. You're trying to pivot away from this.
No,
you're trying to pivot away from this.
You said organized crime. That's the RICO charges.
Yeah, but you have no idea on. You're saying that the evidence that a judge would have every piece of evidence without a docketed case. That's not true. You don't charge somebody with a crime.
I never said any of those words at all. I didn't say.
Yeah, you did. You said you worked for a judge, and they would bring up all of the evidence to the judge.
No. Why would they do that? All the evidence they had to get a warrant.
I understand that, but that's not.
And then, David, the reason you need a warrant.
That's to obtain a warrant. To obtain a warrant to take.
Yeah. So then, when you obtain a warrant, you have to have a certain. You have to have a certain level of evidence that you need to obtain a warrant.
Of course.
Then you get the warrant, and the warrant is to help you find additional evidence. So at this point, you've already got a warrant. You've already presented evidence to a judge who said, "Yeah, there's probable cause for me to give you a warrant." Then you go in and you gather evidence, and then that evidence is even stronger, and you take it to a grand jury, and you say, "How's this? Is this good enough?" And a grand jury of the peers decides, "Yep, that's enough evidence to go to court." And that's where you have the indictment. And I'm guessing, David, I know it's been a while, but you probably still haven't read that indictment.
It's easy to get an indictment. It's so easy to get an indictment.
It's remarkably not easy to get an indictment, especially...
Of course, on a former president, that's hard. On a former president, yeah.
Yeah, and this guy's got 4 of them. That should tell you how corrupt he is. Guess how many indictments all the rest of the presidents combined have?
My biggest question is how you could possibly think that Trump is going to win this court battle when he has a record of losing in court. Over the last 3 decades, he's lost 60% of the cases that he's brought forth. He's used the legal system in such. Say again?
He's correct. 61. He wanted you to be corrected.
So he's lost 61% of his cases?
No, 61 cases. He was talking about the election fraud cases.
No, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about the last 3 decades. I'm talking about his legal track record in general.
Well, but are you counting the 61 that he lost?
Sorry,
I want to add that.
He won one of those cases.
So we also want to talk.
I'm sorry. He won one of those cases.
He got called out by the U.S. District Judge for abusing the legal system. He's literally he had his lawyers sanctioned. That's how bad at legal he is. That's how bad at winning in court he is. He's never been good at it. In fact, most people have told him don't go to litigation, and he goes anyway because he's a big baby and he doesn't like to be told what to do. But he loses. He has a 60% lose rate.
That's your opinion. Fair.
No, it's factual. Over 4,000 cases over the last 3 decades.
But we're not talking. I know, but we're not talking about personal business stuff.
I'm including all of it.
I know you're including. I get it. I understand.
Bad at court. He had 30 of the 50 lawsuits that were brought for election charges just flat out fucking dismissed.
But you're misleading everybody because when you're especially in a business, okay?
Facts. These are facts.
Especially when you're a business, when you settle outside of court. When you settle outside of court,
of their cases. No one loses 60% of their cases.
You're funny, dude. Okay, so if you're a contractor, okay, you're a big contractor outfit, okay, and I don't pay you, and you could take me to court.
Loser.
Yeah, buddy. Sorry.
He loses. He loses.
Say it how you want. I don't care. That's winning. You don't understand winning.
No, the U.S. District Attorney, the U.S. District Judge came and told him that you were abusing the legal system and sanctioned his legal team.
I know, but all your evidence on how bad he is in court is just misleading. Because like if I'm with you, if you're in business,
misleading at all,
and you settle. Because you're including all those cases about his civil lawsuits that he settled outside court.
I'm not even including settlements. I'm including the ones he lost.
You're including settlements outside court.
No, I am not. The settlements outside of court are not listed in those cases that I'm citing right now. 60% of the cases that he loses are decisions from a judge.
David,
I'm not sitting behind a computer right now, so.
David, here's a question. Here's a question.
Don't tell me
for
I'm
you.
misleading, man.
You say there's a lot of...
Yeah, but I believe that's misleading. You're definitely including some...
Your belief is not based in fact. Sorry.
Yeah, well, that's fine. He lost most of his cases. But then this case, in this criminal case they have against him, I believe he has the evidence. And many of us have seen everything that we think is evidence.
David, I do have a question for you. All this evidence that he has, why do you think we already have people clamoring before their court cases to... just say, yeah, it was a lie. My bad.
Like who?
Like Sidney Powell, like Jenna Ellis.
That's not what's happening.
No, Jenna Ellis legitimately said, if I knew
that she wouldn't have took the case on.
The evidence that
she wouldn't have took the case on.
Yeah, because it was based on lies.
No, because if you
no, you don't get to run from
that's
it.
not what said.
Okay, do you want me to pull up her exact quotes?
She didn't say because it was based off lies.
Let me pull up her quotes.
Okay, maybe she said that. I don't know.
Well, why do you think these people are pleading guilty?
I did see part of it.
And remember, what they're pleading guilty to is racketeering, RICO charges. They're pleading guilty to being part of a organized attempt to overturn the election, to defraud the voters. And everybody so far who's gone to court for this has pled guilty.
This has already been foreseen.
That, right?
We knew this.
100% of the people who have had their court date have pled guilty.
Sorry, I was upstairs now. Like Sidney Powell.
I want to give you a little bit. Hold on. Here's the direct quote. What I did not do but should have done, Your Honor, was to make sure that the facts the other lawyers alleged to be true were in fact true. She literally admitted to representing Donald J. Trump.
Can you define that a little bit more on what? I mean, that's just a broad statement. I mean,
this is her quote for the 2020 election. She rose to speak after pleading guilty, fighting back tears, as she said she would not have represented Trump after the 2020 election if she knew then what she knows now, claiming that she relied on lawyers with much more experience than her and failed to verify the things they told her. Her direct quote, again, I'll read this for you since you didn't understand it. What I did not do but should have done, Your Honor, was to make sure that the facts the other lawyers alleged to be true were in fact true.
Let me give you David.
Stolen. Where's that statement?
Let me help you with that, David.
You would think you would want some sort of damning statement like that. You would think.
David, your statement actually doesn't mean a goddamn thing. The plea is what matters. Now, what she did in general, what you do with the statement is essentially apologize. Your job, when you read a statement like that, it's not to go to relitigate the case. It's not to lay out the evidence. It's not.
You don't have to relitigate it, but
hold on. It's not even to go step by step on what you're pleading guilty to, because the guilty plea is included. What you pled guilty to is included. So the attorney said if this case had gone to trial, this is all basically what she's pleading guilty to. The state would have shown the following. On December 3rd of 2020, the defendant did appear before...
No, don't say basically. What'd she plead down to? What'd she plead down to?
I'm reading it to you. You just interrupted me while I was reading it to you. This is what she pled.
Because you said basically that's what she did. And what'd she plead down to, though?
David, so then at the end of this case... she issues her statement. She has pled guilty, and then the prosecution is going to say what they would have shown.
Pled guilty to what?
I'm just about to read it, so you got to listen. All right, okay. That's what I'm reading right now. The defendant did appear before a meeting of the Georgia Senate Judiciary Subcommittee in Fulton County, Georgia, with Rudy Giuliani, Ray Sterling, and other individuals associated with Donald J. Trump for President Incorporated, also known as the Trump Campaign. During the meeting, Giuliani and Smith, acting as attorneys for the Trump campaign, made the following false statements. that at least 96,600 mail-in ballots were counted in the November 3rd, 2020 presidential election, despite there being no record of those ballots having been returned to the county election office. 2, that 2,506 felons voted illegally. 3, that 66,248 underage people illegally registered to vote before their 17th birthday. 4, that at least 2,423 people voted in the November 3rd presidential election in Georgia who were not listed as registered to vote. 5, 1,043 people.
Well, we get what the accusations are. What's she pleading down to?
This is what she's pleading to lying about all of this. 5, that 1,043 people voted in the election.
That's not what
yes, it is. This is the 6, that 10,300 or more dead people voted in the election.
Just like contesting.
7,
no contest.
County
Not the
election
same,
workers at State Farm Arena ordered a poll watcher and members of the media to leave the tabulation area on the night of November 3rd. Is there 8? Is there an
so
8?
if you unalive somebody and you got manslaughter, does that mean that you are an unaliver or a manslaughter? I mean, what's the difference? There's no difference?
No, there isn't. No, you unalive somebody when you get charged with manslaughter.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So your charges and what you plead to definitely matter.
This is what she's pleading to, you potato. That's how this works.
What should she plead down to? What does she plead down to?
I just read it to you. Do you want me to? Do you want me to read it again? She pledged.
So she's pleading guilty to all that.
Yeah, to lying about all of those facts. So that means, David.
Oh well, so the voting count.
David,
that's easy enough.
Let me just make sure you're aware of this. That means she has pled guilty to lying about all those stats. That means none of those stats are true. That means none of those stats will be admissible
That's
in
not true.
court. Yes, it does. She pled guilty to it. David, you are going to have multiple people plead guilty to these exact charges. These stats will not be admissible in court because other defendants have already pled guilty to those facts. And even if Donald Trump's lawyers want to bring it up, even if they want to bring it up, the prosecution is just going to say, "Hey, that's not true because all these people already pled guilty and admitted it." And they're going to be like,
that's not how that works.
I remember that now. And then because there's no other evidence, it's not going to do a goddamn thing.
That's not true. People get guilty of crimes all the time, and they get released later. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Of the most important accusations that the Trump campaign made, and people are pleading guilty to lying about them.
Right. So if the votes get counted the same, recount the same votes that were supposedly fake, right? Then it could be that just because it was
David,
she made these accusations.
Oh my Christ! Do you not know that they already did a recount?
Yeah, I know they did a recount.
Do you think Donald Trump's going to get? Hold on. Do you think Donald Trump is going to get another recount out of this court case?
No.
It's settled. No. Those numbers are wrong.
No, it's not
That's why
settled.
She's pleading guilty. Yes, it is. They did the audit and they found out those numbers are wrong. That's why she's pleading guilty. They had 3 recounts
get what you
in
believe.
Georgia. They did it 3 times, David.
Jay, I get what you believe. This is my only argument.
3.
I get it. Look.
My God, dude.
My only thing is I don't get why. I get what you believe, and I think you should get what I believe.
This isn't a belief. Stop saying
yes, it is.
Because, David, you got to get out of the cult, brother. You got to get out of the cult. You believe
you're not
something.
Understanding.
I don't believe anything.
You don't have to. I'm not asking you to.
There's nothing that I believe. They recounted the votes. I believe...
It has to be a belief. You weren't there.
David,
you don't know for a fact.
David,
sorry, my friend.
David, we have the votes. And do you know who recounted and audited those votes?
See, you didn't even hear my point, though. That's the problem.
Do you know who audited and counted the votes?
If I handed you $10 million in cash,
it was the
even if I hand you $10 million in fake bills, okay, it doesn't matter if you recount them 1,000 times. You might come up with a different count here and there. That's fair. Things happen. Like you gain votes. Like Biden gained votes, right?
Hold on. He's saying that all the ballots are fake.
That's what I didn't say that. That's not what I said. That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
In order to make this analogous, the ballots would have to be fake.
You're trying to put words in my mouth, and I know what you're doing.
Well, no, I'm asking you because you said the money was fake.
No, your buddy.
So in this analogy, what is fake?
So if the money is fake, it's fair to say you could get a miscount up or down by small margins, okay?
No.
But if it's proven later it's counterfeit.
Wait, no. Okay, so you are saying that. You're saying that what you think is going to be proven is that the
money here.
They weren't counting money, David. They weren't counting.
Well, we're talking about counting money.
They were counting ballots.
That's not what I said. They were talking about counting money. Quit trying to get me in trouble, Jay. Come on. Your buddy tried it. It ain't going to work.
So what you were doing is called an analogy,
Right.
and it wasn't working very well.
Bravo.
So
it works pretty well if you can just go with the flow.
So if they already pled guilty to these numbers being lies, how is Donald Trump going to prove that they are not lies?
He would have to present the evidence. He would have to bring it up in his court
What evidence
case.
could you possibly bring forward at this point? We know that.
So in Georgia,
real quick, hold on, because let's lay out what we've agreed on already. We already agreed.
Well, you wanted to hear the evidence, man. I guess
know,
not.
but I just want to make sure we agree on what we have so far. We agreed that there have been 3 recounts, and that he's not going to get another recount, right? We agree that his attorneys, 2 of them, have already pled guilty. We agree with that, right? So there's 2 people right now against Donald Trump. 2 witnesses versus 1 right now.
Right. There's going to be several more.
We lied about those numbers. And the reason they're pleading guilty is because they don't have any evidence to back up those numbers because of the 3 recounts, right?
Yeah, and I would say this, because
so what
just because somebody gave me...
possibly bring, like, make up some hypothetical evidence that we don't even know about. What is the evidence we could possibly bring to prove Donald Trump is innocent?
So in order for him to prove this in his court case, and we're using Georgia right now, you would have to have relevance to the case. You would have to bring up those 2 women. They did break procedures. Now, the judge didn't take these court cases on and say, okay, we're going to dig into that, go into the discovery phase, and look into these accusations. He said, no, I'm not going to take it on. And just because they tried to say that they broke protocol because they started going into the room, started moving stuff around. It was all over television. Don't you remember Rudy Giuliani talking about moving the votes?
Yeah, the guy that keeps getting busted lying? Yeah, I remember that.
No, but look at the lying part. The lying part is where they say that they are fraudulent votes, okay? Now, that's the lying part that they're saying. The part that's not a lie and the accusation in the case is these election workers, they have to follow procedures, just like OSHA guidelines and everything else. And they did not, because the pipes that burst, they really did break procedures. You can look it up. They broke procedures. Now, the judge did not take the case on based off these facts. So, that's where he would have got his discovery. In this case, hold on, in a criminal case, the relevance to the case is something previously brought up, just so you know. And any new evidence and anything else can be brought up.
I'm asking you about your evidence.
In discovery phase.
Is your hope that when Donald Trump...
It's not a hope. I know what's going on.
Hold on. Well, you don't know. None of us know. It's silly to say that you know, because you don't, because none of us...
Well, I do know, and I'll be proving you wrong once again.
Well, no, neither one of us could possibly know, so I'm just going to ask you if this is what you're saying. Are you saying that Donald Trump's case hinges on his ability to convince the judge that because some procedures were broken, which, like, I don't even know what procedures you're talking about. Let's assume... I'm like pretty sure
poll workers were not in the room. No poll workers were not in the room.
So hold on, David. Hold on. Chill, dude. I'm walking through this. Let's pretend that he can. Let's pretend OSHA, not OSHA. Let's pretend
everything's done with procedures, including our military. And
let's pretend he has all that evidence.
Very important.
Evidence.
Symbolic, you say.
So let's say he has all that evidence that procedures were broken.
You guys call it symbolic, remember, Mike Pence?
You understand.
More symbolic than anything.
David, try and stay with me. David, the problem is when you get bored, you just start talking, and you need to listen to this. So
ADHD, bro.
I know. So are you saying, David, that Donald Trump's case depends on his ability to go to the judge and say, Judge, even though we've recounted these votes 3 times and we get the same count every time, because procedures were broken, it's okay for Donald Trump to conspire to overturn.
No, that's the discovery part. You start going into the discovery phase.
Then what are they going to discover? Then what are they going to discover?
They're going to discover whatever evidence that Donald Trump actually has on this. Okay, so they didn't go into this yet.
So we're clear. You have no evidence. You just hope that if he gets into discovery, that the evidence that you believe is going to be there is going to be.
It's his court case. He's allowed it. We have a court case this time. I'm saying David,
I'm saying you're just hoping that there's evidence that comes out where he can prove the procedures not being followed.
That's the only way it can happen.
At State Farm Arena.
No. Come on, don't be ignorant, my friend. That's what I don't understand. You guys, I understand that you don't believe me. Where you don't understand
I do believe it.
You
You're not following me. Are you saying that Donald Trump is going to get into discovery, he's going to go through all the procedures, he's going to find places where procedures weren't followed, and that's going to be his defense?
No, the procedures and the things that took place in that manner are only like tracing the footsteps. Okay, it's not what actually transpired. Like these mail trucks and everything else, they're saying that they got called in, for routine maintenance, whatever they got called to the office for. This took very little amount of people to actually get done.
And then what happened with the trucks? So he's going to find out that the procedures were broken, and then he's going to bring up the trucks. And he's going to say...
Well, it's already been brought up in the past. It's already been brought up.
Okay, tell us the story of the trucks.
Well, there was a guy that was called in on a mail truck, and there was suspicion... And I don't want to get in trouble.
Like he was an on-call mailman, or what was his role?
Well, I mean, there's all kinds of reasons that you can get called into the supervisor's office or maintenance, and you don't have nothing. It doesn't take very many people to do something.
So he brought his truck in.
And this is only hypotheticals. We don't know the truth.
What was in his truck?
We don't. I don't want to go into this. You know that. Come on, you're trying to sucker me into this one. I'm
trying to get
you're saying the procedures.
Honest to God, David, hold on. Honestly, what I'm trying to do right now is let you lay out your case, and I'm
trying to lay it out where I don't get in trouble, because I always get in trouble on your live.
You're struggling.
No, I get in trouble on your live all the time. You know that. Don't lie.
Don't say. Let me ask the question differently to protect you. What could possibly be in that truck? Now, you're not saying this is in the truck, but what could possibly have been in that truck that would prove? That would have enough evidence to show that it was okay for Donald Trump to try and overturn this election.
Well, I mean, if you worked at a place and you got called into the office and you pulled your vehicle in the lot, you don't know what somebody might have put in your package. Correct. In your vehicle.
But what hypothetically could have been in the truck that would be good enough evidence to prove that it was okay for Donald Trump to try and overthrow the election?
Well, if I count the same thing over and over again, I'm going to get the same count. And just because things might have been switched, doesn't mean.
Wait, so you think they were counting inside of the truck?
No. I think that you can take something and replace it with something.
No, what was in the truck?
Or add to.
Yeah, I hear you, but we don't know what you're taking away or adding to because you won't tell us what's in the goddamn truck. What's in the truck, David? What's in the truck? I gotta know.
There could be people's
seat. I need to know what's in the truck, David.
Maybe those extra thing. I mean, maybe something to put something over the wind. I mean, it could be
the wind.
Wind. Make the wind happen. Come on, man. Okay, so come on, quit trying to get me in trouble, man.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So if you're a postman and what are you driving around? Maybe mail-in ballots.
Okay, so you're saying maybe there was a mail truck full of mail-in ballots.
I didn't say that. I'm not saying. I'm just saying things can happen.
What the fuck are you saying, David?
Let's get away from this part. Let's get away from this part because you know what I'm talking about. I want to talk about that.
Honest to God, I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't think anybody else does either.
Do you know what we can say for fact though? Like absolute fact.
That Joe Biden won the election for sure.
No, but what we can say is City Palace flipped on Trump.
No, that's not a flip.
Kenneth Rose flipped on Trump. Patrick Bernie has flipped on Trump.
Michael but I don't call it a flip, man.
On Trump. Sean Still has flipped on Trump. David Schaefer has flipped on Trump. Kathleen Latham has flipped on Trump. Yuscil Tavares has also flipped on Trump. Weird, right? Mark Meadows, flipped on Trump. And then finally, we got Jenna Ellis. Flipped on Trump. Now, what we can conclude from
he's not a cocaine.
Some of these people may or may not have been very close, like extremely close, like really, really tight with Donald J. Trump, especially during, I don't know, a fucking election. Maybe they were campaign lawyers. Maybe they were really, really close to that. And they felt that protect their careers at this point, that
could be.
They were like, hey, we probably should take a deal because this guy lied about a lot of stuff, and now we're going to be implicated in these lies. And so let's take the $5,000 fine and the 5 years of probation so I can keep my legal license, so I can keep my life. Maybe that's what. I mean, and that's a.
It looks really good in the media.
That's a
it's a good smear. Good smear.
Listen, the people that are after Trump are not going to give them a $5,000 fine and 5 years probation unless it was pretty factual evidence that they were turning over. That's just not going to happen.
No, those people like Sidney Powell. Do you know how well that she was really connected to all the evidence? She was brought in. Millions of lawyers were brought to. Have you ever seen how many?
Hold on,
lawyers
millions of lawyers? Millions of lawyers?
Yeah, millions of lawyers were definitely calling in with things. I wouldn't say millions. I would say a few, like hundreds of lawyers were definitely calling in.
Calling
from all over the country.
So that's a big difference.
From all over the country, that's definitely a big difference. Yeah.
Who were they calling?
So, like Sidney Powell's definitely talked about that when she was first getting involved in the case. There were lawyers calling from all over the place. The Stop the Steal movement was brought by Mike Lindell.
David, remember? What are they calling about? Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
People from all over the country.
No, I get that. There were lawyers all over the country. I'm asking what they were calling about, not how many there were or where they're calling from.
There are so many different accusations, like the poll watchers.
Who are they calling?
So all over the country.
David,
I know.
Hold on. Stop. No. Who are they calling?
So all the Stop the Steal rallies.
Nope, don't need that.
Mike
Who
Lindell.
are they calling? So when you pick up your phone,
there was a hotline set up. No, there was a hotline set up.
Gotcha.
And there were people calling from all over. It was organized by Mike Lindell. Okay, and it was called the Stop the Steal rally. Okay, and
we got to trust everything Mike Lindell does.
No, it's not trust everything, but there are people all over the country that were willing to come forward with these things, and there are poll watchers and things of this nature that went to lawyers. Lawyers called in, and this was happening all over the country. It wasn't one place. That's what they're talking about.
And then it turned out they couldn't verify any of that. So.
No, that's not true either. 5,000 affidavits, over 5,000. That's not admissible as evidence because they're not witnesses.
You could have 20 trillion.
That's the only difference.
You could have 20 trillion affidavits, and if you can't verify anything that's said in the affidavit,
that's not what it was. That's not true. That's not true. That's not why it wasn't admissible, because that wasn't evidence to election fraud.
All right. Well, David, I do need to bring up the next person you've valiant.
You don't want another Trumper with you guys. There's two of you guys.
David, I don't. I really.
Well, I'm going to go live anyway. Why?
I do like you.
So you won't let somebody on my side in here. I got you.
David, I don't think you're on your own side. I think you are in the fucking.
I'm a Democrat,
my friend. And
I'm a Democrat.
Yeah, and you Democrats for Trump. Do you have a last plug? I won't even hang up on you. Look, my hands are here. You can have the last word.
Okay, just let the next Republican in with me real quick, and then I'll leave in a second.
No, I'll let you.
Come on.
No.
It's fine. I'm not even really participating. I'm just going to lay back on my lumpy pillow. It's not that big of a deal.
Is it my pillow? Is it my pillow?
Thanks, David. Listen, whoever that was, we do not. You don't. They don't need David's help. Jesus, welcome. Jesus, however you say that, welcome.
For you, my friend, it's Jesus.
All right, welcome.
And I've watched David's lives. I don't agree with anything he says.
It's not ideal.
What's funny with me? What's funny with all this? All those lawyers that brought up those lawsuits have all pled guilty. They just pled guilty. Every single lawyer, Sidney Powell, that blonde woman that was crying, Cheeseborough, all of them had pled guilty.
The blonde woman that was crying. that's the best. That's the best definition of Jenna Ellis I've ever heard.
I mean, it was literally using the white woman tears to It's kind of, I don't know, man. Listening to people like David, I don't know if they do it on purpose. I don't know if they're paid to do this, but it's actually sad that they truly believe this, that the people that helped Donald Trump bring all these lawsuits to the courts are pleading guilty. There is nowhere to go anymore. They 5 years probation, the fine. Some of them, like Rudy Giuliani, probably will go to jail. What else is there? Honestly, what else is there?
I don't know.
That's all I wanted to say, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I appreciate you as always.
Thanks, brother.
You guys have a good one, all right?
You too. Thank you. See ya. That was... Listen, I want to say, I don't mean... I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Jen wanted to get rid of Dave. That was a Jen move right there. Jen literally just lied. She's like, "Oh, hey, Zeus is opposition for you." She just wanted to get rid of David. Good move by Jen. I do applaud. I'm looking just for opposition in the box right now. If you're not opposition, if you could drop down. That was my fault. I didn't make that clear earlier. And that does not include people who are just opposed to Jasper Sammy's shirt. Does not include
Did we ever
that.
find out what was in the truck, though?
Hopes and dreams, I think. Cabrainer.
Was it
welcome.
thoughts and prayers?
Yeah, thoughts and prayers, maybe. Yeah, could have been. Could have been Hillary's server.
Oh. Do you know what?
Maybe that's
I bet I know
where it
what was
was.
in the truck. It was Hunter Biden's laptop.
Connected to
what it was.
Hillary's service.
Yep.
Oh, Cabrainer's not here. Damn, I was hoping. Dark Hazelnut, you are not opposition. You liar.
Not even remotely.
Not even remotely. You liar.
No.
How dare you? David jumped back in the box. I swear to God, if we don't get more opposition, you got
David
1 minute.
back up.
You got 1 minute to get opposition in the box. Call your friends or David's coming back up. I'm having a good time tonight. I'll talk to David all night long.
Oh my God.
All night. Call Havoc. Havoc. But that was weird, man.
Dude.
That was weird with Havoc.
Right? I've never seen
He's
that
just
before.
like a real person.
I didn't
right.
think it was actually him when you first brought him up. I was like, somebody's using his account.
Yeah, Bad Views isn't even Bad Views doesn't want to come up here, and I don't mean that like he's afraid. He's just in a transition period right now, where he's trying to figure out if he's liberal or if he's going to stay stupid. So it's a tough decision. You guys are getting dangerously close to getting David.
Dangerously close.
It's getting close, folks. All right.
Do you think David will ever lie about voting for Trump?
She's insistent. Oh, then she doesn't even come up? It was Dark Hazelnut again. Oh, there was a shot.
Do you think David will ever lie about voting for Trump?
No.
Or I think he's gonna.
No,
he's gonna
David
ride
is-
that ship all the way down.
He's going down with it. I don't know that David will give that up at any point in his life. I don't think there's really anything you can do for David to get him to turn on Trump.
Jeez.
He knows. His minute was up. All right, David. Welcome back. Sorry to say everybody. Sorry.
You know damn well if Trump was lying, I would be voting for Biden.
What?
Wait. Hold on. So what you're saying is, and I just want to get this really clear, really fast. Just I want to make sure that everybody is understanding completely. If Trump is found guilty, and lying is a part of that guilt that he is found guilty of, are you going to vote for Biden?
If lying is a part of that guilt, so like if he pleads down to like probation that he lied to the
Falsifying
people or something.
anything? Does he pleads guilty to falsifying documents, falsifying claims of election fraud, lying about anything? You're gonna vote for Biden. That's what we're saying. If he pleads guilty to that, you're gonna vote for Biden.
If he pleads guilty to like obstruction and all this elected, like he has no evidence of election fraud, and he doesn't have any election fraud, then and he goes to jail, definitely. I mean, he doesn't even have to go to jail if he doesn't produce evidence for us. Then he's not getting my vote. I will vote for him. Most definitely, he's the best president ever. But if he doesn't have the election fraud that he says he has, then I can't vote for him. But he's got the election fraud, dude. I mean,
He's got it. He's got it in the bag. What would it take? What would it take for you? Like, what would the if any of these cases, if he loses any of these cases, are you going to admit that he was a fraud, or that he committed the crime, or are you still going to do the same thing? Because I remember, I'm old enough, David. I don't know if you remember this, but you were a big fan of the Kraken when I first joined TikTok. I've sent this guy, David, my friend, because David knows all the best grocery stores. He knows all the prices. He knows a lot about groceries.
$20 hot dogs.
So I sent my friend David here to Walmart
$4 avocados.
61 times, and 61 times you sent him back. What is your problem, Walmart? And they're like, yeah, he didn't have pants on. He didn't have pants on, so we couldn't let him in here because there's children. I'm like, all right, that makes sense. I wouldn't then come home and be like, David, I can't believe it. You tried 61 times and you still can't get in. Well, it's because you didn't have pants on. And there's rules to get into Walmart, just like there's rules to get into court. And the rule to get into court is you have to have evidence. And the rule to get into Walmart is you have to have pants. Yeah, I did. With
don't you know? I mean,
so the reason he didn't get into court It's because he didn't bring his evidence pants. No
I get what you,
evidence pants.
I totally understand what you guys are saying. 100%.
That's a good
The only thing
analogy.
that's a great analogy. But the only thing I'm saying about that is you know as well as I do. There's all the times there's unsolved unalivings. People hire private investigators, and for a long time they know who did it. They're just unable to prove it. The courts don't take these cases on yet. DAs can't prove anything yet, and then eventually there's a breakthrough in the case. Okay, and I believe.
Could I ask you a question about that? Could you think of another case in American history where there was any case where there was a group of people accused of doing a crime, and then they committed these crimes, and then a couple of them started pleading guilty, and then they released to the Kraken, and those guilty pleas and the whole case was overturned? Can you think of another time that happened?
I believe he froze again.
He's just thinking about it.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Sorry about that.
Do you need me to repeat the question?
No, I'm sorry about that. No, I had to. My wife's making coffee or making
Do you need
tea.
me to repeat
So no. I will say this about that. No. I heard you.
Okay.
I will say this. There are also cases. This is more rare, but there are also cases of somebody pleading, like other criminals in the case pleading down against somebody, and come to find out later the person that was being dealt the heavier hand was actually innocent. This is not too often these things happen, but there are occasions this happens.
Yeah, and so in that case, usually it's because their attorney told them, like, you got to plead down. There's no way we're going to be able to prove your innocence, right? So
No, like a totally innocent bystander involved in a case where two other individuals plead down to things in order to get off on the case essentially, and somebody else gets charged with the case, and come to find out in later events that the person that was charged with the crimes actually ends up innocent. You are an idiot if you think
David,
that it only goes one way.
So now, David, what you're describing is somebody flipping. So in order for this analogy to work out, all the people you just said weren't flipping would have been flipping right now. That's what they'd be doing.
No, my only point for saying that was to make it obvious to you. Just because
Trump, right?
people are turning on you,
they'd be saying
supposedly,
they'd be saying, "Oh no, we're worried about ourselves, so we're going to flip on Trump right now so that we stay out of jail."
So I don't think that in this case. This case, they're just doing the innocent.
Well,
They're just
about 7 seconds ago. That's exactly what you fucking thought in this case. So now it seems like you've changed your mind.
No, I'm not. I'm just giving you an analogy where just because somebody looks guilty doesn't make him guilty all the time.
I didn't know that was just for fun. I thought you were using analogies to prove your point. I didn't know that was just like a fun one.
It is to prove a point. That is to prove a point that somebody can have the card stacked against them. Somebody can have the cards stacked against them and still actually be innocent of these things, and it happens sometimes.
Well, I'd say you got to know when to.
It's rare, more rare.
Know when to fold them.
Well, Jenna, like people can be
know when to walk away.
No. Jenna Ellis could be guilty of some crimes. So could be Sidney Powell. You could be guilty if it was a civil war. Somebody took the first pew pew, and did something.
I brought your moderator up since I have my moderator here.
I don't have a mod. I don't do mods.
Oh yeah, that's right. You don't do that anymore. Your friend.
He doesn't Jay, I've never been a mod for him. I
forgot about that.
Yes.
Welcome. What do you think about David's defense of Donald Trump so far? Is he doing a good job?
Okay, hold on, because I just joined. Like I literally just clued in. So, I support Trump. You know that, and I support Dave. You know that, Jay.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah. I have the best defense for Trump than anybody out there.
0 for 2. So what David has essentially said now, we're talking about the case in Georgia, and a RICO case is a group of people working together to commit a crime, right? And now, two of those people, before they got 100% of people who have had their court date in that case have pled guilty, and they pled guilty to lying about 7 different things, and those things were about all the numbers that Trump is claiming prove that Georgia was stolen. So they pled guilty to lying about those numbers.
That's not what they pled guilty to. Quit lying.
I know you said that, but I read it directly from the transcript, and that's how I know.
Yeah, but that's
David.
But that's not
David.
That's not admitting you're lying.
That's
not admitting you're lying about it. No,
that's what pleading guilty.
No, it's the DA saying you'll plead down to this. You'll plead to this in order to get probation.
And then the
happens all the time, my friend.
And then the reason we know that they were pleading guilty to this is because they took time that they didn't have to and stood up in court and apologized for using numbers that weren't real and said, and I quote, well, I can't quote it actually, I won't quote it. They said, if I would have known that these were fake, I wouldn't have taken that job.
That's not what they said.
Well, it is what they said because
that is not at all.
Well, hold on, David. They pled
not even
guilty.
Close.
They pled guilty to using fake numbers. If they pled guilty,
not
to
fake numbers,
yes,
stuff
David,
that they
no,
stuff
David,
that
that's what they pled guilty to. Then if they're apologizing and it's not about the fake numbers, then
that's not fake numbers.
Apologizing for?
Those are calculations they came up with.
Yeah, they audited the Georgia election 3 times, and these numbers are fake. They're made up.
So if you count the same phony stuff over and over again, it's still going to be phony.
Yeah, but they haven't proved that anything was phony either, David.
They didn't because they didn't go into discovery. They were unable to prove this.
That's silly. So
they get their recounts just like anybody gets recounts. What are you talking about?
So just to be clear, David's argument is that it's okay that people that are co-defendants with Trump are pleading guilty to the same exact crime that Trump is being accused of because discovery.
So Jay, can I push back on that a little bit? So okay, and listen, I just take it from I am person right now saying what I say. I think there's a lot of the co-defendants that I don't know they're getting offered a lot of certain things, and there's a lot coming out of pocket. I mean, there's money handling here, and there's a lot of things.
Well, wait, no, are you saying that the state is bribing them?
I didn't say that.
To plead guilty?
I didn't say that.
Well, whose money is changing hands then?
Hold on. I did not say that.
Whose money's changing hands?
Good try, Jay. Good try. No, I did not say that.
What's this money you're talking about?
Okay, so hold on.
Why do you guys always try to trip people up? Why do you guys always try to do that?
Why do you guys ask follow-up questions, you motherfuckers? You and your follow-up questions.
Why do you guys try to get somebody for misinformation stuff? That's what I don't understand. You're always aiming for that.
Nobody's doing that. Shut up.
I don't think. No, don't tell him to shut up.
No, David knows I mean it lovingly. We've been very cordial with each other.
But your followers don't though. That's the problem. Your followers don't.
I meant it lovingly, guys. I meant to tell David shut up lovingly. All right, go ahead.
No, I'm not. I don't mean it like that. I don't mean it like that when you try to trip people up. There's certain
David. I mean it.
There's certain things we're not allowed to say. That just sucks for us. That's all.
But if you say it in this voice, you can say it.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. So how do you do that?
Go ahead,
Kat. How do you do it?
Yeah, I shook her now.
That was good.
Thank you.
No, what I mean is, I just think that there's a lot of things that are we don't really I don't know.
We don't know how to explain how these things keep happening to Trump.
I know how to explain it. You just don't listen about it.
You know, I'm a blonde. It happens with me sometimes. You know,
no,
I get really.
Kat,
I think there's a lot more corruption. There's a lot more. That's okay. That's okay.
It's weird.
That's okay.
Well, the
evidence is not getting worse. What are you talking about? It's the same shit.
Your name is not Kat. You bully. I'm talking to Kat. Kat. The question is, as more and more evidence keeps pouring in that Donald Trump is lying, he has 4 indictments. You had the civil case that went through. The New York case has already been proven. It's just really about how much he's going to pay in a fine now. I don't know if you guys know that, but that's like he's already guilty. So it's moving closer towards Donald Trump's corrupt than that he's not corrupt. But the weird thing about MAGA folks is the more he gets...
His New York case is not close to done.
David, you're not Kat. Hold on. I was almost there, guys. I was almost there.
Go ahead. I'm waiting.
The more he gets accused of, the more he gets found guilty of, the stronger you guys support him, which is really fucking weird. That's a weird thing to do. There's no other scenario in your life. If you had a daughter who was dating a guy and he he was kind of iffy, but he didn't ever do anything wrong. And then he went out and he got like a felony battery charge. And you were like, I don't know if you should keep dating that guy. And she'd be like, nah, it's fine. You're like, whatever, shit happens. And then like he got another one like 3 weeks later, and you're like, oh, that's bad. And then he's like, I'm fine. I do have 4 pending cases. I do have 4 open indictments that I'm going to have to address here soon too. And you wouldn't be like, yeah, honey, trust that guy. You should never be more supportive of him than you are right now. But you guys are like, hell yeah, the more crimes, the better.
And hey, Jay, I absolutely, hey, I respect your opinion and I appreciate it. But here's my stance on that.
But that was a question, not an opinion. I was asking you a question.
I was saying about your opinion. That's your opinion. That's all I was saying.
No, that was a question.
I'm going to answer your question.
I'll answer it. I'll ask it more simply. My question is, why now that there's more...
Your question.
I know. I'm going to make sure that we're on the same page.
Dumb me down. I'm trying to answer your question, but go ahead.
Kat, I just want to make sure I'm answering the question right, because I was long-winded.
He likes to do that.
Shut up, David.
It's okay. I respect Jay very much. So no,
look, I just want to know why the more evidence that's piled up against him, your support gets stronger.
So, Jay, I don't know who you're talking about. I'm not probably me. My support has always stayed the same, not stronger. Here's my thing with that. I like to wait. As being an American, we have this thing until you're found guilty. So I'm going to wait till the trials are over, and then I will either support or not support. If he's found fucking guilty, I'm fucking done.
Do you think Joe Biden is bringing in money from China through his son?
I don't fucking know. Not until he's found guilty.
You don't know, but you don't engage in that conversation.
I'm engaging with you right now.
Kat, can I ask you something?
No, Dave, I got this one. I'm engaging with you right now because how do I know he's doing that until he's actually found absolutely guilty of it?
It's not that you have to assume that he's absolutely guilty. I don't think he's absolutely guilty. What's weird is that you guys aren't really that open to him being guilty.
Stop saying you guys. I'm a person.
Okay, you, Kat. I don't think you're that open to him.
Kat, can I ask you something?
You'll sit on a live all day long, and you'll sit there and you'll talk about Biden this, Hunter that, Trump's innocent. Like, I'll watch you guys talk about Trump being innocent, and that this is a corrupt Department of Justice, a corrupt FBI, a corrupt judge. None of that is actually true. None of it. You have no evidence that any of that is true, other than he keeps getting charged.
Kat, he says we wouldn't.
And what you've done, you've chosen to believe in this deep state conspiracy that everybody's against Trump, rather than believe that this guy with mountains of evidence against him is the bad guy.
Okay, Jay, let me say something real quick. I want to say something.
No, it's her turn.
He tried to say earlier.
It's not your turn.
He tried to say earlier.
It's not your turn, David. I'm talking to Kat. You've had plenty of minutes. Go ahead, Kat.
Jay, I honestly think for myself, and I honestly, I think there's so much conversation about back and forth. I'm just like, fuck, man. Like, you just saw that we just bombed Syria, right? Did y'all see that? Any of y'all see that? Okay, that to me right now is really important. I'm sorry, but Jay, what I'm saying to you, I understand what you're saying. I get it, but with I think you and I had obviously separate opinions on certain things, but they're both kind of the same opinions on both sides.
It's not though. It's really not. The question I'm asking, and I honestly I'm trying to be.
Okay,
I feel like
I'm sorry. Ask it again.
I feel like you're dodging the question.
Okay, I'm not, Jay. I know. Okay.
There's no scenario in your life where somebody would have this much evidence against them where you would be this wishy-washy.
Absolutely.
You would never be like, I'm going to wait until the 2 charges they're already convicted on, and then the 4 charges that are upcoming. I'm going to wait and see the outcome before I make a judgment on this person. Nobody would do that. That's crazy.
Okay, I want to answer that. Jay, I absolutely agree with that point, by the way. And here's the thing why. Okay, I agree with your point on how that makes what you're saying would make sense to many people. Absolutely. I agree with that. But for me, when it comes to the President of the United States, when it comes to the higher ground of our political world, it's not just a normal stance with a person. We're seeing things, and we're seeing so many different fucking, as we'll say, rhetorics and what they say and what we think we know and what we think we don't. Trump was a president, okay? Just like Biden is. People are after political figures in so many fucking ways, And so, yeah, you're probably right But am I right? Probably too. We don't know, Jay, until it all comes to fucking head. We don't know what he did or did not do. We just
nobody's
don't know.
saying we know, Kat. What I'm saying
I
is,
disagree with you, though.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's weird. It's weird to still support somebody. There's no other scenario in your life you would do this. You want Trump.
It is weird.
It's not your turn yet, David. You want Trump to be right, and so you're willing to believe that you are right. That you want to believe he's innocent, so you will believe things that are against the evidence. The evidence is overwhelming that he's guilty, and you guys are still like pretending to sit on the fence, but secretly you're just
Jay,
rooting
again,
for
when
him.
you say you guys, okay, Jay,
You're
I'm
just
not rooting for
him.
anyone.
Well,
Jay,
that
I'm
was
not
to
rooting for
David
anyone.
too.
Okay, but here's the thing. So I want to say this as well. I hear, so in my situation, I hear that Trump was with Epstein. Trump did this. Trump did that. It's all he's guilty, guilty, guilty. And then I see the opposite side of Trump. Okay, so I see a different
hold on,
thing.
Kat. Nobody's accusing him of the things you said. Why aren't you talking about the things he's actually accused of?
You're just not
actual
hearing me.
crimes and indictments. There's nothing about Epstein.
I'm saying why I feel the way I feel, which you're not hearing.
But you should use real. You should use real examples, not Epstein.
It is real.
He's indicted. He's indicted for actual crimes. We're not accusing. I'm not accusing him. You've never heard me ever. You've never ever heard me talk about Epstein and Trump.
That's not what I was trying to get a point, Jay. But that's okay.
Okay, but these are actual court cases with actual evidence that have already went to a grand jury.
Is he found guilty yet? Is he found guilty?
Hold on. And the grand jury said, yeah, that's a lot of evidence. I'm saying there's
a lot of evidence.
all that evidence on the side of maybe he's a criminal, and there's no evidence really that he's not, except for conspiracy
well, that's all.
theorists.
That's all we're gonna hear, right? Because they're gonna. I mean, but has he been found guilty yet, Jay?
It's weird that you. It's weird that you know.
I'll be weird then. I'll be weird, Jay.
It's strange that you know that there's not enough evidence, and that you know.
I said he's not found guilty.
Hold on. It's weird that you know the evidence is overwhelming on one side, but you're still saying over here saying maybe I'm right. Why don't you just go with the evidence? Like, why won't you turn on a guy?
I'm going to stand for what I believe in, and I'm going to be weird. So
and what do you believe in?
I believe in him. I do. I absolutely do.
Exactly. That's why we say it's a cult.
So if I'm weird,
you believe
that's okay.
in a person that you've never met, you've never
Can I say something on
you
this?
have no idea if that person is telling you the truth or
order
not.
Saved my life.
You
Are you fucking kidding me right now?
In a person,
Are you fucking kidding me right now?
You believe in a person despite the evidence. That's
Hang on, before you get
First executive order saved my life, Jay. I'm sorry, I have a fucking
Can I say
reason.
something on this?
Don't just shake your
Kat,
head.
with all due respect, a person can do good things and then also be a criminal. It's happened. I've never heard of a criminal that somebody's like, he lived his whole life and he never did one good thing. It's always the neighbor's like, yeah, you had no signs. He was such a good boy, whatever it is. Like, he can do a good thing that helped you out, and he can still be a criminal.
It's not just me.
Doesn't matter if it's the entire country. He could have actually been the greatest president in the history of this country, and you still shouldn't be supporting a person who has already been convicted of crimes and is going to be probably convicted of more crimes because he did something good. That is a bizarre way to live your life.
No, it's not.
Can I say something?
It is. It's bizarre.
You said probably though, Jay. You said probably. He
There's
has not
so
been
much
convicted of
evidence.
this yet.
He was found civilly liable of sexually assaulting a woman. And when you think about the crimes that you were helped out with, he was found credible, or he was found liable, civilly liable for sexual assault.
Civil. You know what that means, right? That means you sued the fuck out of them. For a reason.
For what?
It means they don't. It means they don't even have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt.
No, a jury decided that he was civilly liable.
Before we go to that, can I say something on the topic?
David, shut up, David. No, because I know this is the part you don't want people to hear. He was found civilly liable for sexually assaulting.
I've been trying to comment on what you said earlier.
Shut up, David, or I'll bump you.
Jesus Christ.
He was found civilly liable for sexually assaulting a woman. A jury of his peers checked the box saying there was evidence that he was liable for sexual assault.
Okay.
And that is the person with your background, Kat. That's the person that you're going to support. The person who, by the way, bragged about grabbing women exactly the way that he was just found. He was just Sure, it was, Kat. But then he was found civilly liable for doing that exact thing. thing.
He did not do the exact-
Women just
no,
let you
no,
grab.
no,
If
no,
you're
no.
famous, you can just do it. I don't even ask him.
No,
I
that's
just
not-
go in
okay.
for it. That's literally what she accused him of, and then he was found
The bigger
civilly
picture is
liable
he
for.
saved trafficking survivors like myself. That's the
And
bigger
also
picture.
did this.
He grabbed a vagina. I'm so fucking sorry. He grabbed a vagina. He grabbed a vagina. He saved many federal trafficking survivors. I'm sorry. Big fucking deal in my mind. Big
So he
fucking
can-
deal.
So your
Yes,
your
grab one
belief system
vagina,
is
save a million. I'm
if-
sorry. I just don't agree with this. I think it's
as long
crazy.
as you pass legislation
fucking crazy.
that helps women, it's okay to sexually assault women.
That's not what I said.
It's literally
I said
what you just said, Kat.
No, I did not.
You said you did. You said I don't care. He grabbed it. He did something great.
Oh my God! You know he could be in a locker room. He could be some. I mean, come on. He saved millions of.
That's
I was
wild,
literally.
Kat. That's
What's
wild.
wild is I was a federal trafficking survivor, Jay, and many he saved of us. So many of us. I was going to be unalived. Are you
Let me tell
kidding
you
me right
something.
now?
Let me tell you something, Kat.
Oh
Let
my
me tell
God!
you
One
something.
vagina over thousands of us.
Hey,
That's what you're
Kat.
saying.
Guess what? He didn't write that. He didn't write that. It wasn't his idea. He signed a bill
Actually,
somebody
it
else
was.
wrote. And you know why
Actually,
he fucking... And you know the truth, Kat? He signed
never
it
put
because...
anti-
He signed it, Kat, because he knew it would
He
be
didn't- he
popular.
actually put-
He
he
signed it because
actually
he
made it
wanted
better.
people like you to vote for him.
No,
So that when
he
he
made it
was
better.
found civilly liable of sexually
was no
assaulting a
trafficking
woman,
task
people
force
like
of
you would
Obama.
stand up for him.
That's bullshit. He was a.
Everything
he
I just said is true.
No, it's not. Look
What's
into
not
it.
true? What's
There
not
was
true?
the okay, and you're not going to get me riled up right now because I literally know because I was saved. There was no anti-trafficking task force, by the way, with Homeland Security that were ever made under Obama.
Yes,
Look it up,
that's
Jay.
true. He
Look it up.
signed.
Thank
he
you.
Signed,
No,
Kat,
it is true.
Kat, he signed
What the
it.
fuck?
All he did was sign it. It wasn't his
Actually- he
idea.
actually
He didn't
created
come up
the
with the
trafficking
idea.
task
And
force.
you
Oh
are
my God.
justifying. You are justifying.
I was saved by the trafficking task
You
force.
were
that he
justifying protecting a like a credibly
you're really
accused
making me
serial sexual assaulter because
Jay,
he
you're
signed a
ignoring the
bill
facts.
that worked for you.
Wow, you're.
I'm not the
worked for
one that
me?
sounds crazy here.
Did you just say worked for me? Jay, with that one,
no,
I'm going out. That worked for me. No, fuck
it
you. with
worked
that one.
for you.
Fuck you, Jay.
There you go. That is insane. That's crazy. That's one of the craziest things I've ever heard in my life.
I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, it's this weird thing to take this one good thing that he did and wash away a lifetime of crime. I mean, look at what he did. Look at the labor board violations that he's had. You know, specifically against like the housekeeping union. You know, it's predominantly filled by women, and he exploited labor multiple times, like 24 cases of that shit. Like he doesn't have a good track record, and that wasn't even his bill. You were correct. He just signed it. Didn't write it. Didn't have anything to do with it. He just signed it because somebody put it in front of him. Most people say that Trump will sign anything that you put in front of him. So who knows?
Yeah,
if
as
he
long
supported it.
as long as he knows it's going to get him good publicity. That's all he cares about.
He doesn't even know half the time. I mean, there was how many times did we have the statement of Trump would just sign shit? He will just sign shit. He just likes to see his signature. And so it's really sad to see something like that, and it sucks to that Kat was a trafficking survivor. That's awful. That is 1,000% terrible. I can't imagine the pain. I can't imagine the suffering. I can't imagine that on my daughters. I can't imagine that on my wife. I can't imagine that in any way, shape, or form. But to allow that to continue your delusion, the support of a man who has been so obviously against women for most of his career and most of his life just dumbfounds me. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
If you read it, I don't even remember. Let's see. Let me find the originating documents. I don't know who wrote it for him. Yeah, just it was an executive order, essentially like taking the funding that we had and creating a more organized structure. That's all it really was. Yeah. That's wild. That is absolutely wild.
Dude, I don't get it. And like I said, and I understand her passion, and I understand really, really wanting to support a bill, but there's some great things that other presidents have put in place. Take those. I mean, it doesn't one good deed does not wash away a lifetime of crime. It just doesn't. I'm sorry.
It was sexual abuse, not sexual assault. I mean, why do you keep saying assault?
It was sexual assault. Dummy.
It was abuse.
Do you want me to pull it up?
Bro, it was abuse. You're fucking wrong and you're fucking stupid. You fucking pussy
There we go. I
Democrats.
forgot about
And you
Ragey
with the fucking
McBillerson.
tattoos.
Your jet
That's
ski's
right.
looking dope,
Bring it on,
dog.
bitch. Bring it on, bitch. Trump 2024. It was abuse, not assault. Stop lying, you Democrat. Biden's weak. Trump will sign anything. Biden's
a grown
weak.
man, guys. This is a grown man. This is an actual
man.
like. This is honestly a grown man.
Yeah,
And
that's
whatever.
right,
It's
grown man.
9:30 Pacific time. He
grown
jumped
man
on
that'll pin you.
TikTok
I'm in Arizona,
to start.
bitch.
Just
I'm in
so am I.
Arizona, bitch.
So am I. And
I'm
he
in
just
Arizona, Chandler. I remember you. I remember
yeah.
you.
Oh, yeah.
remember
I know who
from
you are,
before
Bill.
that.
You're a very angry man, Bill.
No, I'm ready.
What are you so
I'm
mad
ready
about,
wake
Bill?
me up. Trump 2024.
What, Billy,
I'm just
why are you
tired of
so
hearing
mad?
You lie.
What?
I'm so tired of hearing you lie all day long.
Thanks for listening to me.
Assault. It's abuse.
All day? You watched my whole show?
Just tonight. Just tonight.
I appreciate the support,
Abuse
Bill.
and
Thank you
assault
for all
is
your support.
Totally different. Totally different.
What are you
Abuse and
saying?
assault. Stop lying. Stop lying. It's
You ready for
abuse,
me to
not
pull it up,
assault.
Bill?
That was civil. Yeah, pull
Okay.
your dick out. I don't give a fuck.
Here's okay. What's the difference between sexual assault
Shut
and
the
sexual
fuck
abuse?
up.
No.
A
Tell me the
huge
difference. What's the difference? Explain the
give it-
difference.
give it a
I want you to
Google.
explain.
Give it a
I want you to
Google.
explain to every woman here. I want
Give
you to
it a
explain to every
Google
woman in your
tattoo,
life.
boy.
I want this to be recorded for
Give it a
you.
Google tattoo,
What is the
boy.
difference? What is the
Tattoo
difference between the
boy.
two? I want you to say it.
I don't know.
I want you to say it.
Assault sounds a hell of
Say
a
the
lot
difference.
fucking worse than abuse.
It sounds worse. You don't even know. You said it was a hell of a lot different.
Hell of a lot
Please explain.
worse.
Please explain the difference.
You
Go
explain
ahead.
it. You explain it, Democrat.
I'm gonna
That's
wait
what
for you.
Democrats do. Answer a question with a question.
I'm not a Democrat.
You, explain it to
You
me.
don't know anything
I
about
said
me.
It's different. Now you explain it to me.
You said it's different, so you have the burden of proof of proving that it's different. Go
It
ahead.
is. No, I said you're saying assault to make it look bad. It's abuse. So you
Okay,
tell
what's
me
the
the
difference? Tell me the difference.
You tell me. You tell me.
You can't do it, can you?
You tell me.
really
I don't
can't.
have
Do
to.
you know
You
how to use
can't tell
Google?
me. You too
When's the last
busy
time
putting
you opened
tattoos
the-
all over your
what's that?
body. You're
When's
too
the last
busy
time you
putting
You got tattoos all over your body.
Yeah, tattoos don't make you tough.
I'm not trying to be.
You know
tough.
what does make you tough though? Jet skis,
Muscle shirts. Muscle shirts really make
tank
you
tops,
tough.
and jet skis.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I'm looking this up. So sexual assault versus sexual abuse. Let me see what it is. I don't know what the difference is. He's right. I used the wrong term, and he's very upset about that. But I'm going to see what the difference is here. Oh, they have. Oh, that's in California. This wouldn't be in California. Where was that? Was that in D.C.? Did we lose Bill? Oh, he's gone?
I think we did.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm looking this up.
The terms sexual assault, sexual violence, and sexual abuse, we're going to use SA, SV, and SA, are often used interchangeably, though it may be more common to hear one term versus another in certain circumstances. SV is commonly used when referencing violence on a global scale or talking about the continuum of SV. SA is more commonly used when talking about the SA of children and youth. SA occurs when a person is forced, coerced, and manipulated into unwanted sexual activity. Assault is an umbrella term that includes a wide range of victimizations which may or may not involve force or be illegal.
Hello, friend. This is somebody up here probably just telling us why they're voting for Joe Biden.
You know, can you hear me? I've never done this before. Can you hear me?
Yeah, welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I just want to ask a question. So you're saying that he raped this woman in one of the largest stores in New York City during business hours,
No, I didn't say that.
and she didn't scream and say, "Oh, help me!
No, I didn't say
He's
any of
putting
that.
his dick inside of me."
That's not what
Are
he was
you fucking
accused of.
serious?
I don't think you know anything about the case. 'cause
No, I
that's
do
not-
know.
Well, that's-
Actually, I
that's
do
not-
know.
But that's
She
not what he was
said
accused of.
She said he raped her.
Hey, Karen, can you calm down for a second?
I'm not a
that's-
Karen. Okay.
Oh, I thought you said your name was Karen.
She said.
What was your name?
What was it? My name is Teresa. What did
That
you?
sounds about
Okay,
right.
so. Oh, did you see Anderson Cooper when she said rape was sexy?
I don't watch Anderson Cooper. He and I
Okay,
got in
so
a fight about
there is a
7 years
video.
ago.
Well, you should just
we were
watch
playing
it, 'cause
chess,
it's all
and
over.
I went to the bathroom and I
Okay,
came
well,
back,
well,
and
let
my
me ask you a
rook had been
question.
moved. And I
I
said,
live in
Anderson,
New
I
York
know you
City.
moved my rook. And Anderson said,
Listen,
no, I didn't.
let me talk.
And I'll
Let
never,
me talk.
I'll never trust that piece of shit again.
I don't give a fuck because he's beating everybody in the fucking polls. How's
Who,
that?
Anderson Cooper? I haven't seen.
No, Trump. Listen, so he's in the biggest, one of the largest stores in New York City because I live there. And he goes in the dressing room and he
hold on.
fucks her.
You live in the largest store in New
And-
York City?
Yeah, that's one of the largest stores in New York City.
Yeah.
Actually, yes, it is.
Just
It's
so you
one
know,
of the
before you wind up getting banned.
So answer my question.
Well,
don't
hold
give
on.
me your bullshit. Don't give me your
you don't
fucking
even know.
answer
You don't
the
even
fucking
know if
question.
it's bullshit. Karen, calm down, honey. Listen.
You're not answering my question.
I know. I'm
that's
trying
why.
to, but you're screaming
I'm asking
screaming
you.
like. If you stop screaming for a second.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
So he was not accused of using his penis. Just so you know. You don't
what'd he
seem to,
do?
You don't seem to understand what the charges were.
So
remember
he said,
that thing.
okay, so,
remember that thing he was caught on tape saying that he joked at locker room talk. Remember that thing?
Yeah, I'm a
That's
lesbian.
what he was accused. That's what he was accused of doing.
I'm a lesbian, and I've used that word pussy quite a few times.
That has
and
nothing,
you're a man.
Shush, Karen, calm down.
And you've
Karen,
used pussy
Karen,
quite a few
Karen,
times, right?
Karen, yeah, Karen, hold on. You didn't get to the end of it.
You're not insulting me because you're not going to fucking out-talk me. You're not going to insult me.
Listen, I don't doubt that for 1 second.
You're not
I don't think there's.
me. So
I know.
You can call me all kinds of bullshit names.
Okay, but could you shushies for a second while I finish my sentence?
Go ahead.
Okay. So what he was accused of by E. Jean Carroll is exactly what he joked about on that tape.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he was accused of. Do you understand how that's different than what you think he was accused of?
No, I'm thinking I'm in a big, huge store in New York City, and Donald Trump came in my dressing room and maybe fingered me or whatever he did to her, and she didn't scream. During business hours.
You have to scream.
During business hours. She didn't say a fucking word.
Just
you
to
see
be
how
clear.
fucking stupid you sound?
No.
Do you see how stupid you sound?
I don't think it's me.
Have you ever been to New York City?
I have.
Okay. Have you ever been? So you go in a dressing
Karen,
room. He sexually abuses her.
Teresa,
and
real quick, hold on.
I
know.
Still haven't answered my question.
Hold on. See, when I say hold on, just let me talk. Now I know you're in New York, and I'm in.
because I'm waiting for you to answer me.
I know. I know you're in New York and I'm in Arizona, but you don't have to scream all the way to here. You've got a microphone built right into your phone.
Okay.
You can talk like a normal person.
Well, answer the fucking question. How about that? How about answering my fucking question?
Which one,
okay,
Teresa?
the one that she said he went and sexually abused her in one of the largest stores in New York City during business hours, because that's pretty normal. You go in a dressing room, someone sexually abuses you, and you don't scream.
Apparently not.
Why?
I don't know. I wasn't there, and I'm not her. But you're actually a lunatic, though, and I'm a little worried about my life.
That was a good call.
How is it getting more crazy? What is going on? How is it getting worse?
You know what? You were just so attractive to the crazies. I mean, look at you.
Thank you. Anne, welcome. That might be a joke hat. I wasn't sure.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy, and I'm not going to scream, okay?
Thank God. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So what's up?
We're just on here getting screamed at by crazy Trumpers.
Your chat has Trump derangement syndrome. That's for sure. But I'm a walkaway Democrat. So I actually was a Democrat. I was a Democrat my entire life until 2020, and then I voted Republican for the first time.
Okay.
And I absolutely hated Trump. In 2016, I voted for Hillary, and she lost, and I was like...
She did lose.
Oh.
I remember that.
But Trump, the same reason why I hated him, ended up being the reason why I ended up loving him. Oh gosh, your eyes are crazy.
Yeah, no, I'm actually not human. But what's the reason that you like Trump?
So I like that he is a businessman. I like that he's not one of these career politicians. Because as we see, like, on both sides of the fence, Republicans
Why does that
and Democrats. Why?
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm saying, like, the career politicians, there's no term limits. So,
but what's wrong with a career politician?
Well, the longer that they're in office, they become more corrupt, essentially.
It's interesting. If you look at finances, the ones that have been there the longest aren't really the ones that benefit the most. The ones that wind up really corrupt are the ones that come for like a couple of terms, and then they go and become lobbyists or go into private business. With all of like the stock stuff that Congress does, they're still pretty strict on where they can get money, how they can obtain money. It's much harder to make money in Congress than outside of Congress. Once you've been to Congress and you have that name and you have those connections, then you're really valuable. You're far more valuable leaving Congress than you would be staying in Congress. So for me, when I look at the career one, like Joe Biden, his net worth is like anywhere between like 8 and 15 million. He made 8 million from his book, and he was a career politician. Yeah, after he was basically, if you're president or vice president and you write your memoirs, you'll get a huge amount of money to do that. And I think he got $8 million. So he doesn't even have that much money, and he's been in there forever.
He has money, but I don't even know.
But not that, like for somebody who made, he was a senator. Like senators make $200 and whatever $1,000,
Yeah.
200 like 70.
Yeah.
If you worked for 40 years at the equivalent of that, plus all your health care is taken care of, your travel's mostly covered, you have a house, but you have and then an apartment, you really don't have that many expenses. If you did that for 40 years, that equivalent, it wouldn't be unreasonable for Joe Biden to have a $4 to $10 million net worth. And then you add on the $8 million you got from a book deal, it's pretty legitimate. The fact that Joe Biden's been investigated over and over and over by the Republicans, and they can't find anything corrupt about him. It's honestly, the people who are in there the longest are not the ones that I'm most afraid of. I'm more afraid of the ones like Trump who come in, raise a bunch of money, leave office, lose, raise a bunch of money, commit a bunch of crimes. He pardoned people that stole money from his own supporters. He doesn't care about you guys, and that's the sad part, is that he's duped that many people.
But the thing is that like I only worship God, so I don't worship him. He's not a god. And there is going to be life after Trump. Like, I know that people haven't even thought about that yet, but there is going to be life after Trump. But essentially, I like the fact that he was a businessman. I think that the economy, when he was in office, the unemployment rate was the best that it's been since.
It's lower now than it ever was during Trump.
No, that's false. And so
no, it's true. Wait, hold on. And I'm not lying to you about this. This is, you could fact check this easy. We have lower unemployment now than we did under Trump.
Okay.
It's not, I'm not making that. I'm not making that up. That's a real thing.
During what year? Because I mean, the last year.
It's lower now than at any time during the Trump presidency.
Okay. Well.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take your word for that, because I don't have a fact check right now. But I will say the interest rates on houses when Trump left office was 2.8% to 3.1%. Mm-hmm. And since Biden has been in office, they've been up to 9. Now this is like my wheelhouse, up to 9.2%.
Do you know why that rate raises?
Yes. Do you know where we get our oil from? Normally,
we get it from a lot of places.
Well, where do we?
Are you going to say that oil is the reason our interest rates are up?
I'm going to go there. But I'm going to. Okay. So, do you know where we get majority of our oil from?
I think it's like Canada. I looked it up earlier today. I don't remember the 5 countries that were the most. Do you know off the top of your head, Jake? He's looking too. It's like Canada, probably Mexico, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Colombia. 60% looks like from Canada.
What do we get from Russia?
Not that much.
Not that much?
Do we?
For real?
Yeah, those are the 5 biggest. Do you have the numbers, Jake?
Yeah. So we've got 52% of our oil coming from Canada, 10% from Mexico, 7% from Saudi Arabia, 4% from Iraq, 3% from Colombia. Our crude oil imports. So that was petroleum. Our crude oil imports are 60% Canada, 10% Mexico, 7% Saudi Arabia, 4% Iraq, 4% Colombia.
See how Russia wasn't on there?
Yeah, so what do we get from Russia then?
Very little.
A lot of attitude. They give us a lot of attitude.
Yeah. We've gotten very little.
Vladimir Putin, he's got a bad attitude.
What is our business dealings with them? With
Russia?
Very
Trump
little.
Had some. Trump had some business dealings.
Very little. Russia has given oil to other nations, other allied nations, but there's not a ton that comes here. There's like the Russian oil conspiracy is a really weird thing. It's not. It really doesn't account for that much. Like I said, most of our imported oil comes from Canada, and that makes logical sense because they literally neighbor us. It's really easy to get it here. Why would
Plus
we?
They're
import
above
it from
us, and so it's easier to slow down because they're above us.
No, I have a question for you though. Like besides all this, you said a couple of things really quickly. You said you voted for Trump for the reason that you hated him, which was because he was a businessman. So if you had somebody like, I don't know, Trump and a Democratic runner against him, maybe Andrew Yang, another businessman, no political experience whatsoever, coming in off the streets, arguably a more honest businessman. Would you vote for the more honest businessman, or would you still vote for Trump?
Andrew, there's like a delay or an echo. The Forward Party.
He's a part of the Forward Party now. I'm saying hypothetically, Andrew Yang, someone like Andrew Yang, right?
Party.
Hypothetically, someone like Andrew Yang, and he did register, and he was a Democratic candidate the first time. He's only registered as a Forward Party during this election cycle. So again, what I'm saying is, someone like Andrew Yang, who is arguably a more honest business person, would you vote for them over Trump?
You have to give me a better example because Andrew Yang in the Forward Party.
You make up anybody. You make up anyone.
It could be a fake person, just a fake person who's great at business.
Forward Party. I'm not a
Elon Musk.
Perfect. Yeah, Elon Musk.
Yes.
Yeah, I knew it. I fucking knew it.
There you
go. Yeah. We love Elon over there.
Arguably just as corrupt.
Yeah. Elon is great. He's brilliant.
He's kind of a psychopath.
We probably have a different opinion on Elon.
Yeah, and believe me, I love everything about Tesla. I'm a huge Tesla fanboy, but Elon Musk is a psychopath. He is.
Like a psychopath, or is he just like eccentric?
I mean, he says some pretty interesting things. He has some pretty wild views on science, specifically science of the body. He has some weird views on COVID. He lies a lot about Twitter. Him still pushing this Twittergate thing is one of the weirdest fucking things I've seen. He aligns himself with a lot of Christian nationalist alt-righters, schmazzies. There's a lot of those people that he aligns himself with.
But that's beside the point. Again, what I'm asking is, if you put two businessmen up there, one of them being Trump and one of them being recognized as a more honest, forward-thinking, someone who is really, 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 really good at business, not a politician, just wants what's best for the nation, but doesn't have any of the awful track record that Trump has, which one would you vote for?
Well, but they're both. Well, I don't.
They're
think
both what?
I don't think that he has a bad track record.
He's had over 4,000 lawsuits in the last 30 years of his life. He's lost 60% of those. He's had sexual assault charges. He's been indicted and convicted.
Every business he has ever started went under.
He hasn't misrepresented his wealth. He's grossly misrepresented his wealth.
Okay, so out of all of his businesses, 5 have gone bankrupt, and look at how many businesses he owns.
Yeah, but so those numbers are a little bit iffy.
Umbrella.
Yeah, you're talking about LLCs in different states for tax purposes, but they're all under the umbrella of the Trump organization when it comes to real estate. Every business he started outside of the business that his dad handed him, he bankrupted. Every single one. No, it's true. All the businesses he has right now relate to the Trump organization, which is two things basically. They have properties and they have licensing deals. Those are the two things they do. Mostly licensing deals now, because nobody will give him money to build anything because he's screwed over so many banks. And as we can see, he lies on all his documents. So he has to do licensing deals now. But every business outside of that he ever ran went bankrupt. Everyone.
No. Okay.
No, that's true.
Name one that didn't.
Well, that's just simply not true. But okay,
then
how
name
about
one
this?
that didn't. And it still doesn't change. And it still doesn't change the question. Like we've pivoted away from the question twice now.
So I have a question for you guys.
No.
Wait,
we have to answer this question. We have to answer.
You got to answer it first.
We have to answer this question.
We'll take turns. You got to answer this, and then you can ask us one.
I've asked the question 3 times now. This is now the 3rd time that I'm asking the question.
What?
If Trump and another businessman who is arguably more honest, more forthcoming, was standing next to Trump, who would you vote for?
I would pick both, vice president and president.
That's not how that works.
What?
Snake.
No,
You snake. I'm taking option C.
That is amazing. This is
right now.
It's never just a one or the other.
It is a one or the other. I'm giving you a one or the other option. You can
only
vote
have
for one of them.
You can't have them both. Okay.
I can. But
you do it every election. You vote for one.
This is like a marriage
Every
outside
election.
of Mormonism. You can only have one. If you're Mormon, multiple, but you're not a Mormon in this. So this is like marriage. You can pick Donald, or you can pick. We're gonna call him Slick Rick. They got identical. Everything about them's identical, but one of them doesn't have a criminal history. Slick Rick can even have Donald's hair if you want. If that works for you.
Okay.
The answer's Slick Rick. You know the answer is Slick Rick. You know it's Slick Rick. You know it. She goes and gets her. God, that's an ugly hat. That's a terrible hat.
So what I'm getting
bad.
at this point is we can kind of we're kind of getting to the point to
Okay,
where.
wait. Can I ask a question though?
That's fair. Let her ask the question. We'll circle back.
Okay. Can we agree? Have you guys watched the Republican debates at all?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, don't do it. Don't do it.
Literally.
Don't say
what?
Vivek. Don't say Vivek.
No.
Thank
I
God.
literally think that the Republican debates is literally a circus clown show. And they're making a complete and utter mockery of the Republican Party. None of them will be the vice president. None of them will be the president. And they're all a bunch of fucking clowns. And it's quite embarrassing.
No.
It's literally embarrassing.
No. This is the part that... So, have you ever... I grew up in a cult. You ever seen Mormon missionaries out on their bikes? They got like their pants legs or their suit leg tucked into their socks. They got on a bike helmet. They got like they're all wearing the same thing. They got the same shitty ass haircut. You ever seen that? You never seen Mormon missionaries out and about like that?
No.
Okay. Well, they look kind of silly to everybody.
I don't live in Utah.
What's that?
I don't live in Utah.
Okay, well, the missionaries are everywhere. I'll send you some. But everybody in the world thinks they look silly, except for them. They're like, we look fucking great. And you're the Mormon missionary in this scenario. Everybody outside of MAGA, like the whole world, looks at Donald Trump and goes, crazy. Crazy. Everybody, like every one of our allies across the country, or across the world, excuse me, all the foreign leaders, they still make fun of him. Everybody across the world makes fun of him, except for the people that vote for him. You're the Mormon missionary right now. You're the one that looks silly, but you don't know that. You just think everybody else doesn't know the truth.
That didn't answer my question about what.
Well,
you guys think
it didn't, but I was trying something.
But you really wanted to just do that. That's fine.
I'm trying to help. Like, honest to God, I am. I'm saying that everything you believe is just like, what's that?
Do you believe in God?
No.
Okay. Okay.
No.
Okay.
You, Jasper?
No.
You a God-fearing man?
I'm agnostic. I believe in a higher power.
Yeah.
I'm not an atheist, but I don't believe in your Sky Daddy. I guarantee it.
He believes in Agnes. He's agnostic.
No, agnostic. He believes there's a higher power.
Agnos.
Agnos.
Yeah, the god Agnos. Yeah, no.
Okay.
This is what I'm saying. I'm saying you're just getting duped.
You're dodging it. You're literally dodging it.
I forgot the question, to be honest. You want to ask it again? I swear, I honestly don't remember.
Republican debate. What did you think of the Republican debate? And if you had to pick one of those clowns, which one would you pick?
Chris Christie.
I would probably pick Chris Christie. I like his figure.
He's got the best dance moves.
No,
I honestly not even.
There is never a time that we've agreed.
I just want to meet the person who convinced him this is where your belt goes. I just whoever told him this is where your belt goes has done him no favors. The belt does not go right below the nipples. There's supposed to be a whole lot of space between the nipples and your belt, and he has very little space between his nipples and his belt. Whoever told him that's where the belt goes, that person is a bully. But I would still vote for Chris Christie and his nipple belt over Donald Trump. I would vote for everybody on that stage over Donald Trump except
for Vivek.
Except for Vivek. And Ron DeSantis, maybe. That would be a tough one. DeSantis versus... And that's the thing. You're putting your hands up and you're going, those are the other two best ones. But they're not. Those are the other crazy ones. And that's what I'm trying to tell you, is you seem to like the crazy ones.
Here's the thing.
Who do you like?
Here's the thing that I want to point.
She's got to tell us who she likes.
Okay.
No, I honestly don't care.
She already said it was a circus.
If I had to pick one, it would have been Tim Scott.
Oh God.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you like about Tim Scott?
He checks all the boxes.
What are the boxes?
So he's Christian.
Okay.
He's conservative.
Yeah, so he's a Republican. That's box one. You can't be not a Christian and not a conservative and be on that stage. So that's everybody so far. You've just described every single person on that stage so far.
No,
who up there is not Christian?
Well, she said he, so not Nikki Haley's out.
Not everyone on that stage is conservative.
No, they're all conservative. They're all very conservative.
They're known for being conservative.
Oh, they're so conservative. Who's not conservative?
Christie, Nikki Haley.
What? Wait, what?
Why are they not conservative?
They're so conservative. Why are they not conservative?
What?
Why are they not conservative?
Neither one of them are Christian.
They're both Christian.
Yeah, they both are.
No.
No, both of them.
No.
Yes.
Oh no. What state do you live in?
Michigan.
Do you have? I haven't been to Michigan since I was young. Do you guys have internet there?
No.
No internet in Michigan?
No.
That checks out. Because the internet would have helped you not say that. It would have been very useful. They are both devout Christians.
Okay, so then why is Nikki Haley pushing to go to war?
What are you talking about?
So then in the debates she said that she would continue aiding and funding and supporting Ukraine once she's in office.
Yeah, that's not going to war, but did you know that Donald Trump sent military aid to Ukraine while he was in office every year? Did you know
Before we get onto that pivot, I do want to mention something. I do want to say something.
Go ahead.
You asked us a question. You said
I did.
who on that stage, and we answered that question quickly. Not only did we answer that question quickly, we said it very, very precisely. We said exactly what we said exactly what we were going to say. You still have not answered.
I said Tim
who you would
Scott.
pick. No, you still have not answered who you would pick if Donald Trump or Slick Rick was up there.
I did answer. Just because you don't like my answer doesn't make my answer.
Who are you going to pick?
Both.
No, on the stage. Donald Trump and Slick Rick are both not on that stage. Neither one of them, because Slick Rick is not real, and Donald Trump is a coward and won't show up.
Slick Rick is a Democrat.
You got to pick.
Slick Rick is a Democrat.
He was a rhino. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. You got to pick somebody that actually exists and was on the stage. So no Slick Rick, no Donald Trump.
What? I said Tim Scott.
Oh yeah, that's right. You did say that.
I'm talking about the hypothetical. I'm talking
so
about
uninspiring.
Remember? So you're looking at two candidates, right? You're looking at a Democratic candidate and you're looking at a Republican candidate. Obviously, Trump is going to be the Republican candidate. The other candidate is going to be a businessman who is honest and has a great track record. It is just as good of a businessman, if not better, than Donald Trump. Who are you going to pick?
Donald Trump.
Oh my God. No, that was the wrong. How did you get that answer wrong? How did that happen?
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Wait, hold on. There's not an answer that's right. I already picked my first answer. I stick with that answer that I picked.
But in this scenario, one person was better than the other, and you're like, I'm going to take second best.
You guys didn't take my answer, and I picked C.
Both was never. You don't just get to just make up an answer. We answered your question directly.
Anne used to write in her own answers on multiple choice. It's like A, B, C, D. She was always putting an E.
Oh my God!
That shit. And she'd write like the right answer.
I'm willing to guess this. If Trump is not on the ballot, are you going to write in his name? If Trump is not on the ballot, are you going to write in? Are you going to write in the? You are.
Oh Jesus.
That's the point of this whole thing. That is wild. That is absolutely obnoxious. That is crazy. That is literally crazy. And I'm sorry, I don't really call people crazy, but that is absolutely wild.
Crazy.
Listen,
that's wild.
It is time for me to shut it down, and I hope you come back sometime. This would be a great study. I think we could have a great study.
Great. Okay,
yeah, come back sometime. I'm usually on in the mornings, but every once in a while you'll see us on at night.
Okay.
All right. You have a good night.
All right.
See you, Ann. All right.
There you go.
Weird night, man. I thought that this night would just be no opposition, and it turned into like the wildest opposition I've maybe ever had. I don't know that I'm going to get the video from this one. This might be one that TikTok says you can't have this video.
Are they real? Were all those people real?
I don't know, dude. That was bizarre.
That was the obvious question, right? Like, how do we ask that question in any other way?
Fucking Anne, man. Anne just sits there with the biggest smile. Everything makes her happy. Everything you say, she's like, terrific. I don't know if she's got like a strong benzo game or if that's Anne's real personality. I kind of applaud it. Like, just whatever happens, she's going to be happy. She's just going to put on her Trump hat and go smile. I kind of have respect for it.
At least she was honest.
That's true.
At least she said she was going to write it in. At least she is like convicted in her support. Slick Rick doesn't stand a chance.
I didn't think I'd walk away from that thinking like, I got to be more like Anne. I got to live my life a little bit more like Anne. Less Jesus, but the same amount of smiles. Just fuck it, put on a smile, leave the setting on, and just go. Just have a day.
Same checkbox for everything.
All right, dude. I'm going to call it a night. See ya. Maybe. I can't end
you figured this out. You figured out how to boot me from the Discord.
Bigger now.
You figured
out
how
what happened is the chat got bigger.